I don't have a transition. Again, who would have guessed? If I'm jumping straight into the visual novel, I wouldn't have a transition. I mean, I guess I could think up one, but yeah. But either way, well, first of all, I forgot to change the audio, but we got through a fair bit of Kaguya's route last time, and well, most of it was Kaguya being Kaguya. Well, no, Kaguya is a lot more handsy than she usually is with Riku. You know, to a not an obsessive level, but to a level that you would only see from someone who is really into you. And lo and behold, Kaguya is really into Riku. But you know, he does it under the guise of another form of training. Right? The first form of training is to help him suppress Diablo's powers, the Diablo mana, and the second form of training is to help him, I guess, technically you're reinforcing that training while trying to train him into being able to get it up without transmigrating, I guess. It kind of works, but no, not well enough where he doesn't transmigrate. So of course, Noah and Amane found out about the secret training and were not happy about it. And unfortunately for Kaguya, she was very embarrassed. she was very embarrassed because, you know, Kaguya's, her personality is, you know, the teasing type. You know, you would expect that kind of personality. It's the sort of personality you see in like Takagi. Specifically Takagi, right? I was gonna say Nagatoro as well, but you know, Nagatoro is more of a bully. Well, Kaguya, Takagi, Kika, they're lighter teasing. They do lighter teasing to mask their submissiveness, which, well, you know. But regardless, a week passed after the secret training stopped and Riku finally got some balls and messaged Kaguya, and she immediately accepted him going to her place. I don't know what you'd call it. She doesn't invite him to her place. He asks to go to her place and then she accepts immediately. Alright, and then they basically go on a date. And during that date, they get attacked. And thankfully, with some quick thinking from, well, Orie mainly. You know, Riku helped a bit against the assassin. You know, he used some of Diablo's mana to suppress mana in general. To suppress the mana around them so that the assassin couldn't use his magic dagger or whatever the fuck. And Orie, being paranoid about Kaguya's well-being, rightfully so in this instance, rushed to Kaguya's aid and subdued the assassin. Now, here's the thing, right? I don't know what is going on past that point, but that's what we're gonna find out today. So either way, I rambled on for way too long. So let's get into it, shall we? The next day. Start the recording. Let's go. And that about sums it up.
それと一点、情報共有がてら補足します。
Oh, right. What is it?
視覚の身柄は今朝方あっちに送っています。
Yeah, but like... Really? Okay. I mean, I guess I could see you doing that if it would mean exposing Kaguya's brother. Right. So, you know what, I'll let them cook but I swear to God, if you just sent them back without doing anything more, kind of a stupid thing to do.
まさかこの短期間で二人も送り返すことになるとは思わなかったわね。いずれも姫様直属の部下が身柄を確保していますので、どうかご安心ください。以上です。
Aha, okay, that's slightly better than doing nothing. Thanks. That really is a relief to hear. We've gathered all the concerned parties at Kaguya's place and to explain what happened yesterday. And this is far too serious a matter to keep it a secret. I'm sure you all must be shocked, but... Am I not going to get any reaction?
いや、ごめん。薄いっていうか。むしろ、あまりの驚きに頭が固まってしまっていた。いや、視覚の話だけだったら、私たちも経験済みだから大丈夫だったんだけど。谷風くんが魔法を使ったっていうのがもうほんと驚いて、何それってね。
Okay, yeah, that's the part they're surprised about.
本当ですよ。前世返りして私たちに迷惑を及ぼすだけの不能にだと思ってたのに。
Kohibari, I get, but you, Amane, are you trying to pick a fight, or do you want to make me cry?
いや、それほど驚いたということだろう。さっきも言ったけど、僕ですら驚愕したくらいだからね。魔法を使っただけでも驚きなのに、しかもそれがマナを強制的に抑制するものとは。
I mean, is it that? What's the word? Is it that surprising that sort of magic exists?
もちろん自分のマナもなんだよね。前世返りしないで撃てたんなら。そこが本当に驚愕だ。先日怒ってはしまったけど、これは間違いなく陸とかぐやで行っていた特訓の成果なのだろうね。だから僕は詫びるべきだろう。一方的に正論をぶつけてすまなかった。
Okay. Listen, no, you don't need to apologize, first of all. Second of all, I guess, technically, they're not wrong, right? I think the biggest reason as to why Riku was able to do that was because of his feelings for Kaguya, right? And his desire to protect her in that very moment, right? And those feelings definitely developed during the training, so you're technically not wrong, but chalking it up to being solely because of the training as to why he was able to do that is, you know, it's too simple of a reason, of an explanation. Nah, we were to blame for that. I appreciate it though.
とにかくお兄、その魔法を使ってみせてよ。
Huh? What do you mean? What, you mean now?
僕からも頼みたい。確認は必要だと思う。ああ、昨日たまたまビギナーズラックで使えただけなのか、それともってね。
Okay, I guess this, if he's able to do the magic suppressing magic again, I guess it wouldn't be solely because of his desire to protect Kaguya, right? So then the training helped a lot more than I give it credit for, but if he isn't able to, then I was right.
その通り。使えるようになったなら、とても大きな進歩だからね。マナを抑制するものであれば、今ここで試しても危険はない。リク、改めて頼めるかな。
I glance over at Kaguya. Kaguya?
いえ、ごめんなさい。だったら、私が実験台になるわ。それが一番わかりやすいでしょ？
With that, Kaguya forms a small ball of fire in her palm. I get it. In erasing those flames, I'll be showing everyone how my magic works. Since Kaguya volunteered herself, I assume she also wants to confirm that I can do this. It'd be really since... Wait, what? It'd be really since if this were something I can do at will. I don't know how to fix that. Hang on, let me... Since Kaguya volunteered herself, I assume she also wants to confirm that I can do this. It'd be really... Okay, yeah, no, I don't know how to fix that. Since if they send another assassin after Kaguya, my ability to use magic could greatly change how things play out. Yeah, but like if the only magic you can use is magic suppression, then the assassins could just bring over someone like Aurier, and there goes your plan. It gets thrown out the window. I nod and thrust my palm out toward Kaguya, just like I did before. No, wait. I need to recall how it felt. That sensation of the mana forming together, answering my pleas in the moment I reached out. Fortunately, I remember exactly how it felt. All I have to do is allow the fire inside me to burn while keeping it focused on this specific task. I can do this. You don't have to be cringe about it. Subside. I release my magic, and Kaguya's ball of flames immediately disappears. Well, at least it works. So I guess I will give the training a lot more credit. Maybe not a lot more. I'll give it more credit than I gave it before.
消えた？じゃあ…私は魔法を使えない状態にされているわ。
Don't look at me like that. It makes it look like you're in on it.
かといって、生命活動に支障が出るくらいマナを消されたわけじゃない。感覚としては、体の外に出ないように抑え込まれているというところかしら。確かに、魔法を使っているにもかかわらず、陸の中の魔王のマナも抑え込まれているね。
Well, yeah, he's also suppressing his own mana with the magic. And personally, I think that's the key highlight here. It feels to me like this magic is an extension of me learning to suppress my mana.
それを他者にも強制する。改めて、とんでもない魔法ね。つまりお兄の魔法はジャミングみたいなことをしてるってことでいいの？
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? It's great that Riku knows how to use magic and all, even though it's only one form of magic, which is a very advanced form that I assume isn't really that easy to learn, right? Obviously, but that's the problem. That's the other problem. It's the only form of magic he can use. It's the only form of magic he knows at the moment. Maybe they can teach him to learn to use other magic. But yeah. He's only got at the moment he's only got a nullifying magic, and it would only work against magic users, right? The magic user assassins.
ジャミング？ああ、通信のための電波を電波で妨害するみたいなことです。要するに妨害電波っていうか。ああ、なるほど。確かに、そのイメージが一番近いかもしれないわ。他者に害をなすレベルのマナ操作。つまり、魔法の行使を妨害する魔法なのだから。ということは、鬼スペシャルスペル、その名も、マジックジャマーってとこだね。
Magic? I mean, look, Magic Jammer is pretty cool. It's a lot cooler than Subside. Also, if you're hearing some rustling, I got a package. But why is it spelt? In the localized version, I should say. Why is it spelt in a way that works in katakana? Right? You could have just translated it to Magic Jammer, but you kept Majiku and Jama. Listen, I know there are a lot of words that sound bad if you use hard R. One specific word, in fact, but jammer is not a slur. So I don't think you need to use the soft A version. That name is so cringe. It's a lot better than Subside, alright.
私に言われてもな、効果をそのまま英語にしただけだし。まあ、名前は何でもいいよ。
Yeah, but that's the problem. That's the problem, Amane. You are anime.
とにかくリクはもうこの魔法をいつでも自分の意志で使えるようになっているのが分かった。
And Noah looks around at everyone, and we all nod at her in return.
つまり、今後。
If any more assassins appear, I could just use magic to...
そういうのもあるだろうけど、僕が言いたかったのは違う話だよ。
Huh?
他者のみならず、自分のマナすら抑えられる手段を獲得したんだ。
I mean, you know that the magic jammer was just a fluke. I still need training from Kaguya to help me suppress my mana. You know. Damn. I can't use the magic anymore.
つまり今後、前世返りや暴走の危険性はまずなくなったと見ていい。
So does that mean he can get hard again?
僕の力がなくても、だ。
Oh, that's what you meant.
というわけで。
Well, I guess. I mean, she's not gonna leave forever. I hope, but she's definitely leaving earlier than I expected. Wings burst from Noah's back and spread out wide. Then she plucks a single feather from them. Oh wait, no, that's not what she was getting at. I thought she was saying that she was leaving. No, she's just doing the feather thing again. Fucking Christ. Whoa, what are you doing?
前も言っただろ。この翼は天の力の権限。 だからこれは、その力を少し分けただけだよ。痛みなどはないから安心して。
Okay then.
では。はい、リク。
What did you just hand me? Why did she just hand me her feather? For a manifestation of heavenly power, it sure doesn't feel or weigh any different than a normal feather. Well, it's cleaner, at least.
それにマナを注げば、僕に念話が通じるし、空間座標もわかるから、目印にして転移するのも可能だ。
It's also this game's way of allowing Noah to be apart from Riku so that Riku can date girls outside of, apart from Noah and Amane. You know, without, what am I trying to say? You know, Noah no longer has to be the third wheel. Right? That's what the feather indicates. Oh, cool. It's like an emergency summoning bell or something.
今までのように、つきっきりである必要もなくなったからね。
I mean, you know, she says this, and I guess it made sense in Orie and Fumika's route, right? Because at least in those routes, Noah was actually with Riku the most of the time, right? Sure, obviously there were times where Noah wasn't with Riku directly, but you know, whenever Orie and Riku were together in the apartment, Noah was outside. You know, maybe around the area, or you know, outside of Orie's room. With Fumika, Noah was at the school. Here, we have a scene specifically where Kaguya and Riku are alone together. So all I'm saying is, if it wasn't for that scene where Noah very specifically wasn't there, then, you know, the feather makes a lot less sense. That's all I'm gonna say. Huh?
以後、僕のことは気にせずに行動してくれていいということだよ。何かあれば、その羽を使ってくれ。
Of course, now that I'll be fine on my own, there's no need for Noah to always be with me. Yeah, but listen, this is what I'm trying to get at. We have two scenes, right? The first one was when Riku came over to Kaguya's house after a week of them not training, and the scene right after where they basically went on a date. In both scenes, Noah was not there, right? And there wasn't ever a moment before those scenes where Riku explicitly states to Noah that he wants to see Kaguya alone, or something similar like that. So what I'm trying to get at, I mean, I already said it before, the feather makes a lot less sense in this route than it did in Fumika and Orie's. But that means that, well, from now on, I glance over at Kaguya upon my realization.
姫様、私にもスマホを持たせたのは、緊急時の簡便な連絡手段としてだったはずでは。
Orie, I thought you already, you know, I thought you already gave Riku your blessing to date Kaguya.
確かに昨日も、すぐ折り合いに連絡をつけられていたら。
I mean, I know that's what they're getting at, right? With how Kaguya didn't contact Orie, but look, my argument there, she didn't have time. She was fighting off an assassin. I mean, I guess they talked, right? They Kaguya and the assassin talked, but I don't think the assassin would have allowed her to pull out her phone mid-conversation or mid-fight.
その通り。 私はもっと早く駆けつけられたはずなのです。
Kaguya is standing there dejectedly as Orie lectures her. But then Orie shrugs.
ですが、そうではなかったからこそ、谷風さんが魔法に目覚められたのも確かです。ありえ。今後も兄君から視覚が差し向けられる可能性はゼロではありません。
Correct. So, you know, surely you did more than just send that assassin back to be handled with by people that Kaguya trusts. Right?
ですが、どうあれあっちからの視覚ならば、谷風さんの魔法が極めて有効なはずです。それこそ、私が姫様のおそばにおりますよりも、はるかに。
Because here's the thing, right? Not only is the king not dead, but Kaguya is a lot more popular, and if it was exposed that Kaguya's brother sent an assassin to try to kill her, then wouldn't that make her even more popular, make him even less popular? I mean, sure, I guess you'd draw a bigger target on Kaguya's back, but that didn't stop her brother from trying to kill her before. You know? I mean, I understand that she doesn't want to be queen, but would you really want... Because here's the thing. There is a responsibility on Kaguya to make sure... Look, even if she doesn't want to be queen, she also needs to make sure her brother does not become king. Right? With that, Orie turns to face me and bows deeply.
なので、谷風さん。今後、姫様をよろしくお願いいたします。
Oh, I don't really like that implication. I don't like the idea that it feels like you're passing on the torch. You know, maybe we could protect her together. Just while Riku and Kaguya are on a date, that's when he protects her. But yeah, you get what I mean.
できましたら可能な限り、姫様のおそばにはべっていていただければ、私も安心です。
Okay, well, maybe when they're dating, that would be more reasonable, but they aren't going out yet. So, you know, you can still protect her from time to time. Like, you know, she's still living with you. You're still living with her. So, right. And besides, I already brought up that, you know, they could bring an assassin that doesn't use magic. And, well, Riku can't really do much there. Now it's Orie's turn to give Kaguya permission to act separately to her. I never would have seen this coming. Because here's the thing. Now, you know what? I'm not bringing it up again. Orie is doing the same thing as Noah Noah's doing, but just like with Noah, Orie wasn't there. But that means Kaguya and I can be alone together as much as we want. Except for the fact that you and Kaguya were alone together last night. And that's the reason why the assassin attacked. Because you were alone together. The very thought makes emotion rage within my chest. Crap. How am I supposed to look her in the eye now? She'll definitely have realized the same thing. I really want to see how she's reacting. But I can't bring myself to look at her right now. I'll just have even more thoughts racing through my mind if I do.
二人ともどうしたんだろう。
Holy shit, I didn't even realize she was speaking until that tiny squeak out of her voice.
すみません。私もよくわからず。私が申し上げたことに何か問題が？
Well, you know, the silver lining here, right? Other than the fact that it's kind of silly of them to act like now they can finally only now that Kaguya and Riku can finally be alone together, is that Orie has given even more of her blessing to Riku.
おーこりゃどう見ても確定ですよね。
だよね。二人とも完全に。
I mean, what gave it away?
なんだろうな、この複雑な心境。
でも、ここで私が意を唱えるのもなんか違うし。
Okay, listen. I get. Well, here's the thing. I don't know if Kurumi likes Riku. I mean, like, in that way, right? But we know Amane does. And, I mean, okay, I was gonna say, I guess, you know, Kurumi, every day at school, always sits on Riku's desk. That doesn't necessarily mean that that she likes him in that way, right? So, you know, it would have made more sense if I did Kurumi's route first to see how she actually feels about him before they start dating. I don't know. Never mind.
っていうか、大丈夫なんですかね、この二人。
They'll be fine.
大丈夫って何が？
今後の展開的な意味で、こんな調子なの見せられちゃうと先行きが不安に。
まあ、男と女だし、自然の成り行きでどうにかなるんじゃないの？
なります？
Maybe not. You know, maybe it's a good idea if you two, you know, helped them out a bit.
ペッティングだけでもできれば違うんだろうけど。
Foreplay. Listen, foreplay is very late in the development, right? Usually it's very late in development, right? Usually that stuff happens right before the main event. So, you know, I don't think they're equating. I don't think they're giving foreplay the importance that it deserves. Never mind.
ペッティングって。
今のなし！忘れて！違うから！ただのジョークだから！
Okay, maybe Kurumi was the only one doing that.
この人はこの人で大丈夫なのかな？
Yeah, and also the one I'm most interested in, because, well, yeah, she's the one I'm most interested in.
天使創造リブート。
We've still only seen 3 transitions. We've seen her regular uniform Kaguya, we've seen swimsuit Kaguya, and we've seen Noah Kaguya. That brings us to the following day. Kaguya and I have come to Rockabay Beach, just the two of us. Ah, Rockabay Beach. Wasn't that the beach that he went to with Fumika? Went to with Fumika?
これでよし。塞げたわ。
We did so in order to erase the vestiges of the gate used when the assassin came here, and the one used in sending him back. It wasn't something we could leave alone, and yet it also wasn't something that took all that much time. Which means we've already finished our business here, so, well, yeah. Oh, right, good job. Unless, okay, here's the thing. Maybe I'm mixing up the names of the beach that Fumika and Riku went to with the one in their town. Because like, okay, the background they're using is the same as the background of the beach that they have in town, right? And then the portal shit is the same as well. So I think I mixed them up.
いえ、これだけのためにわざわざ付き合わせてごめんなさいね。
Because all I'm saying is, unless the fucking assassin walked all the way over here, I don't think he knows the concept of a train. Don't sweat it. I was kind of honored that you asked. I mean, you heard what Orye said. She wanted me with you as much as possible.
そうだったわね。
But, you know, Orye being Orye, she's kind of a bit too dense to realize what that actually meant. The full extent of what that meant. I'm still finding it hard to look her in the eyes. In fact, I'm so hyper-focused on everything I'm doing that I can tell how awkwardly I'm coming across. Can you blame me? Last time we had everyone with us, but now we're alone. What's more, it's, well, you know, yeah. As soon as I heard we'd be coming to the beach, my mind started racing, and I might have made some preparations. I'm hopeless. That's the whole reason I'm acting so awkward. But it's not like I can casually bring it up. I don't want her to think that I planned this from the start. What if I'm the only one who did? I'll look like such a fool.
ところで、リク。
What is it?
その、どうあれまた海に行くんだからって、私、いえ、念のためによ。念のために、一応、その、水着も持ってきているんだけど。
Of course, Kaguya has more balls than Riku does.
バカみたいよね。一人でそんな、今日は海水浴する予定なんかなかったのに。
Well, truth is, I, also brought my swimsuit, just on the off chance. Kaguya stiffens up, the breath catching in her throat. Her reaction immediately sends my mind into overdrive. Silence descends as we stand there, unable to look at each other, or look at the other. However, we've both brought our swimsuits, which means there's no way we're going straight home, right?
今日ここに来たのは、ゲートを塞ぐためだったけど、無事に終わったし。
Why not have some fun while we're here? And since we both brought our swimsuits...
そうね。そうしましょう。そうしないと、水着もかわいそうよね。
It'd be boring to go straight home. We may as well make the most of it.
ええ。なら、早速着替えましょう。気が変わらないうちに。
I sure hope Amani and Kurumi aren't spying on them. Yeah, I couldn't have put it better myself. I'm pretty sure she's acting just as awkwardly as I am. But either way, we managed to come to an agreement. We split up to go to our respective changing rooms. Naturally, I finished changing first, leaving me to wait anxiously for Kaguya.
お待たせ、リク。
The very moment I hear her voice behind me, I spin around. I can't believe I was struggling to look at her mere moments ago. The shock of a lifetime makes the breath catch in my throat. In fact, I think I've stopped breathing altogether. I've seen her in this before, so I guess it's because I'm aware of how I feel about her now. Forget Virgin Killer. She could kill even the most seasoned playboy with looks like those. I mentally tremble from her overwhelming beauty. The swimsuit is still far less revealing than the clothes she wears from her home world. So, why do I feel so... why do I find it so captivating? Is it because it's one continuous item clinging tightly to her frame, highlighting all the lines and curves of her body? Well, that's definitely... You pointed it out. You figured it out. Maybe it's because it makes it apparent how soft she is. A softness I've already felt felt pressed all up against me.
黙って見られてしまうと、どうしていいのかわからなくなるわ。
Sorry, I couldn't help it.
やはりあなたはあっちの服の方が好みなの?
Look, the truth is both outfits have their own appeal. Alright, one is more revealing, while one clings to the skin more. Only now do I realize how my comment on her overwhelmingly captivating swimsuit must have come across the last time we were here. To be honest, for you, I like looking at you in your other outfit more. That was damn insulting. Okay, I mean, I guess the way you phrased it, it might come off as insulting, but you're thinking too hard into it. You're thinking too deeply about it. I mean, I know what I was thinking. Those clothes gave me a real great view of her plunging cleavage, and all the glimpses of skin were brilliant. I still feel that way. But that's beside the point. Kaguya's tits aren't the only attractive thing about her. I need to look at the bigger picture. As much as I wish I could slap my past self in the face, now is the perfect moment, the perfect time to make up for it. I'm sorry.
Rick.
I'd like to withdraw my previous statement. I was too focused on just one thing.
というと?
Your tits. I told you that I liked how much skin I could see in the view of your deep cleavage.
そこまで言ってはいなかったような。
But now I can confidently say that everything about your swimsuit has me captivated. Look, he may not have said it directly, but that's what he was implying with when he said that he preferred your other outfit. Boobs aren't the only appeal of a girl like you. It never was. I find everything about you attractive, Kaguya. Your swimsuit makes that even more apparent. You look dazzling.
Rick.
It's only proper manners to compliment a girl. I know that, so I'm sorry for what I did. You look amazing in that swimsuit. More attractive than ever. Okay, well, you're going a bit too far with that one. Now the implication is that she doesn't look as attractive as she doesn't look nearly as attractive. Well, nearly. She doesn't look as attractive in her Shrine Maiden outfit. I sort of lost control there, but at least I managed to get it all out there. My cheeks are burning hot. They must be bright red. Part of me feels like I might have gone too far. Perhaps I said things I should have kept to myself. Is she creeped out? Like I said, it's not that deep. You know, sometimes he doesn't go far enough with his thinking, right? And other times he overthinks. Huh? Kaguya? She immediately starts giggling, which leaves me at a loss.
ありがとう。そんなに真っ赤になって一生懸命褒めてくれて。
She liked it?
こちらこそごめんなさい。遅ればせながらだけど。あなたの水着姿もとても魅力的よ。
And now that the tension has been dissolved, now that the tension has been dissolved, Kaguya can go back to her teasing personality. Kaguya.
スマートなのにしっかり筋肉がついていて、少年のような可愛らしさと男らしさを感じて、本当にあなたの魅力が溢れ、 ってこれでは体型を褒めているだけだわ。水着姿を褒めるのは難しいものなのね。頑張って褒めてくれて改めてありがとう、リク。
Well, listen, you look, isn't, I don't even, what am I trying to say? Isn't the point of a swimsuit to accentuate the areas? Never mind. Oh, you too. You know, here's the thing. Practically speaking, what's the point of a bikini? Right? It is two pieces of clothing that, sure, I guess because of the material that they were made from, makes it easier for you to swim in, but I mean, you know, with that little clothing, look, it's the same as when people bring up bikini armor in RPGs, or, you know, in JRPGs and shit, where it's like, okay, practically speaking, this outfit is very useless. You know, you would never be caught dead wearing something like this in the real world, but the only reason you use it is, other than because it probably has better stats than most of the other armor in the game, it's because the character looks hot in it. So, the same thing applies with the swimsuit. Same thing applies with male swimsuits too, but mainly speaking, females, you get what I mean. Crap. I'm over the moon. My heart is pounding like a drum. Somehow, I know that she's not just being nice. She said all that because she truly means it. And here's the thing, right? I only brought up a bikini, but a one piece does the same thing. Right? There's a reason it is made. One, to help with swimming, but two, they are made to accentuate thicker areas of the female body. Right? Because they're more skin tight. Sort of. Who knew how unbearably happy it would make me to get complimented on my physical appearance by a girl I like? Does that mean that Kagi's been feeling the same way I am? It took you long enough?
ところで、ね
She peers at me through upturned eyes, smiling happily. Do you want sunscreen to be applied to you? She tells me she's been a little nervous since we met up today, but it would seem she's back on form now.
前の海水浴では、あなたに周囲の視線から守ってもらったわよね。
Oh, yeah, sure. Personally, it felt like Kaguya was just having fun teasing me by walking arm in arm with me, but I digress. Are they going to do it again? It got all the people trying to hit on her to leave us alone, so results-wise, at least she's not wrong. Naturally, Kaguya's already getting looks from all directions. Sure, I can handle that. You won't be getting hit on today either.
ありがとう。それも頼みたかったんだけど。
There's more?
前は大勢で、今日はあなたと二人っきりでしょ？
Okay. Do you want him to apply sunscreen to you?
だから、あなたにしか頼めないの。
Uh-huh. I've seen this trope before. Okay. Ask what?
これ。
Kage produces a bottle of something from her bag and holds it out to me. The moment I realize what's going on, my heart starts to race. Is she really asking me to... This is suntan lotion, right? It's close enough.
ええ。 前は日焼け止めを塗ってもらったけど、今日はせっかくだから少し肌を焼いてみたくて。
It's funny that a lot of the times for this trope it is suntan lotion, even though they never tan, right? They have the same skin color before the trope and as well as after, right? So the tan that they would have gotten from sitting out in the sun with it on, yeah, it never amounts to anything.
スネーウ国は山国で日差しも強くないから日焼けしたくてもできないし。
Right. So,
私一人では全身に塗りきれなかったの。
is this going to be another CG that they censor in the all ages version that I'll use and that I'll see in the full list of CGs and realize that it isn't as lewd as I thought it would be? Right? Because with the Kaguya one, with the quote unquote secret training CG, they don't really get as NSFW as I thought. Right? Like the furthest they went was the second time around, where she puts her hand puts his arm between her tits. So what is it like here? Are they going to show it or are they going to censor it? And I'm just going to have to go back to hitomi.la to get it again.
だからね、残りをあなたにしてほしいの。お願い。
I'm also very conflicted about the secret training CG because I don't know if I should crop out the cleavage or if I should keep it in. But I'm playing it by ear for the VODs version. And, you know, this is the moment I've been waiting for. But the way she asks hits me even harder than I was imagining. I was always going to say yes, but I find myself nodding before I even know what's happening. With great haste, I take the sheet we got from the cabana to somewhere more secluded, throw it down and set up a parasol. I gesture for Kaguya to take a seat. She nodded, kneels down, and displays her back to me.
では、よろしくね。
Well, isn't that unfortunate? It looks like I was right. I was right? It was the first option. She lowers her swimsuit to her waist and pulls her long hair over her shoulders while covering her breasts. Then she looks over and smiles at me. Right. It takes everything I have to grunt out that response. This is far sexier than anything I could have ever imagined or anticipated. That goes not just for the glimpses of side boob, but also her inviting gaze. Look, all I'm saying is the secret training CG. Well, I don't know yet. I didn't pay attention to this CG in the Hitomi thing. I don't know what you'd call it. List, the CG list. But also her okay, yeah. Her seductively tight hips and plump ass and thighs. But it's her exposed back that captivates me most of all. Is she sure about this? She really wants me to spread lotion over her back. Well, you know, while you two may not be dating, it's not like she's opposed to it. Just the thought of touching her is making me giddy. My hands will be sliding all over her, smearing a slippery liquid. I mean, okay, listen. I understand. I understand very much why they've censored the last CG and why they're censoring this one. Because, like, with the wording, it's just... The wording alone is too lewd for an all ages version, right? This is real pervy, isn't it? Like, basically as close to sex as we could get without actually doing it. Okay, hang on a minute. That's called foreplay. Alright, and you aren't doing that. You're just rubbing lotion on her back. My mind races with such thoughts, completely distracting me from the task at hand. And I'm so busy trying to quieten the intense arousal that I haven't even managed to open the bottle of lotion yet.
リク
Don't look at me like that.
この状態で放置されていると恥ずかしいわ。早くして。
Right. She mercilessly, in my opinion, takes on a seductive tone when urging me to start. I hurriedly nod and pop open the bottle. And then I squirt a bunch onto my hand, rub them together, and lean in toward her back. Damn it, my hands are shaking.
ほら、早く。
Don't look at me like that. Alright, Kaguya. I grip my teeth to try and stop the trembling before sliding my hands over her back with resolve. Squelch, squelch, okay. And, yeah, okay, yeah, of course. Why is this making my hands feel so good? My slippery hands feel like they're melting as they follow the curves of her dainty white skin. Every place the oil spreads starts to glisten, further seducing my gaze. Well, look, at least because everywhere you touch everywhere the oil touches it glistens, that means you don't have to that means you know the places you've already been over, so you don't have to reapply oil there. Never mind. I find my hands faltering as I try to run them over her.
もう少し強くしてもいいのよ。隅々までお願いね。
Meanwhile, Kaguya is as composed as ever. Well, yeah, she's in her element. What'd you expect? She gently urges me with the aura of an older woman, with no hint of shame to be seen. This pushes me to the brink once more. Every nook and cranny of your back. Right.
あら、背中以外も塗りたいの？
Of course not.
なんだ、残念。
She's clearly having her fun teasing me again, but it doesn't feel bad in the slightest. I'm so far head over heels for this girl. How much easier would it be if my hands could tell her how I feel? I think in the corner of my mind as my fingers continue to trace the bumps of her back, smearing the lotion in. At which point, her back squirms ever so slightly, but ever so seductively. Instinctively, I desire to see more, and so I repeat what I did. Okay, you get it, right? Kaguya? She starts squirming more and more, so I stop for a moment and raise my head.
なんでもないわ。ちょっとくすぐったかっただけ。
It just took a little. Okay, yeah. She says nonchalantly.
気にしないで続けて。背筋ばかりじゃなくて、脇腹の方まで。
Isn't that gonna tickle even more?
くすぐったがってほしいの？
Yes. I mean, no. Of course not.
だったら、塗るのに集中してもらえると嬉しいわ。多少体をくねってしまうかもしれないけど、さっきも言った通り、気にせずに。
Okay, I'm thinking a bit here. I mean, look, okay, the secret CG, the secret training CG isn't the first time they hid a CG that doesn't really show anything that would be NSFW, right? But the fact that they did this, the fact that they're doing it again with this one means that it's lewd enough where it would be worrying to show in the all ages version, right? And The one thing I can think of as to why they would hide both this one and the other one is because of titty. I mean, basically, right? With this one, it'd probably be because of the side boob, and with the other one, it's probably because of the enhanced cleavage. Let's go with that. Fair. We might be in the shade of the parasol, but I should still aim to get this done as soon as possible. Unless it has to do with a certain moment in the CG, right? Right? I can imagine the reason they would hide the entirety of the secret training CG is because of the one moment where his arm is between her tits. With this one, maybe it's because he grabs side boob. Who knows? There's no completely hiding from UV rays. Worst case, she might end up with a horribly uneven tan. Okay, I'm gonna go for it. Admittedly, I was a little spaced out and not fully concentrating. I pulled myself together while reapplying some lotion to my hands. I rubbed my hands over her shoulder blades before following her seductive curves down to her waist. I arrive at the plump bulge that announces the start of her ass, where I conscientiously rub my hands. The more I go, the more Kaguya squirms and twists. Her glistening back wriggles in a way that's not simply erotic, but tempting as well. That's even more reason for me to focus to quieten the arousal. I grit my teeth so hard you could probably hear them, endeavoring to separate my mind from the sensations as I continue. You know, Riku suddenly becomes a poet whenever he's trying to not get hard, or yeah, he not transmigrate in this instance. I can't forget about her sides. Squelch. Cause like, okay, I'm just gonna say this about this sort of trope, right? I have just accepted that anytime this trope happens, right, the main reason why they do it is to showcase how much the girl likes the guy, right? So it doesn't really bother me that much when the guy starts rubbing areas that are very easy to reach by the girl, because the whole purpose of rubbing her back with lotion or sunscreen is, you know, the contact. It's not because it's a hard to reach area, even though it probably is. But to be fair, you know, I'm sure there are more girls that can reach that can you know, reach behind them than there are guys who can. Huh? She twists as if attempting to flee, while stifling whatever sound was about to come out of her mouth. Naturally, I stop and raise my head again. She was so composed a moment ago, but now she's biting her lip to stop herself from making a sound. But... Okay, hang on a minute, Kaguya. I don't like what you're implying there. I mean, I do, but you're in public, so... More squelching. She trembles and squirms. And it's so sexy, I find myself gulping. Listen, I don't know... I don't think this sound effect, the NGH sound effect, is him gulping, but yeah. Her crotch is just as alluring as her boobs. No man could look away when she's squirming like that. But no matter how alluring it is, I must control myself. I don't know, maybe you should help her maybe you should help her apply suntan lotion to her thighs as well.
そのまま続けて。
I raised my head again to see her smiling seductively at me, her composure regained. I gritted my teeth. I nodded and resumed smearing lotion down her sides, just as she asked me to. Okay. When I do so, she moans and squirms, squishing her plump curves out of shape. It's so extreme that I wonder if she's not being tickled, but simply doing this to seduce. Fucking Christ, doing this to seduce me. Yeah, you know, I'm sure, Riku, I'm sure she's doing this to seduce you, and is definitely not blatantly getting aroused over your touch. She said it'll be torturing if I stop now, which makes it sound like I'd be blueballing her. Well, you're not wrong, but also blueballing yourself. Does this mean it feels so good that she doesn't want me to stop? Well, I will say he's on the right track. Right? At least this time around, he doesn't just think that everything she does to seduce him is just for teasing purposes. Right? So this is character development. This is character development. Or was she talking about me? Perhaps she doesn't want me to stop because she's enjoying watching me resist. Never mind. Goodbye character development. It was nice knowing you. Maybe she wants to see me hold out all the way to the end. Either way, I'm so turned on I feel dizzy. My hands speed up, getting more enthusiastic and forceful with the task in hand. Get it? Because he's using his hands. Never mind. I trace my hands repeatedly over the seductive curves that lead from her side to her hips. And then I go back across her squirming back, making sure the lotion is spread evenly all over. All the while keeping the arousal of the sights and sensations locked deep inside me. I'm done. I'm done. By the time I've finally finished smearing lotion all over her, my shoulders are heaving with every breath I take. Listen. Listen. Riku, there's still an area that you didn't go over, alright? Look, just because it's covered by the swimsuit doesn't mean it wouldn't appreciate some, smearing. What? Yeah. Anyway, you touch her ass. Yeah, Kaki giggles at me while continuing to squirm for some reason.
私が体をくねるのがたまらなくて。でも、必死にこらえ続けてくれたのよね。
You saw right through me.
当たり前よ。もう。花だったらずっと可愛い顔をしっぱなしなんだもの。こっちがたまらなくなってしまうわ。
You know, maybe the reason they didn't show the CG is because they didn't want to show that, because there were some areas that Riku was touching that would be too scandalous, or she was actually just getting wet. With another giant seductive twist of her hips, she shuts her eyes to take in everything she's feeling. Her light is written all over her body, which seems to be doing everything it can to tempt me. That proves to be a problem. All of a sudden, her arm slips right off her chest. Oh, okay. So that's the reason. Perhaps some of the lotion dribbled down onto it. Either way, the result of that The result is that her bulging boobs have now jiggled free of her arms, exposing not just her areola, but the entirety of those bright pink nipples. Despite the shock of it all, you won't be surprised to know I end up ogling hard, my eyes rooted to the spot. It's so. Once I realize that I'm doing what I'm doing, I'm overwhelmed with guilt and immediately start to apologize. But in the middle of doing so...
Rick.
Oh, well, shit. She gives me a look that cuts me right off. And then she asks a question that to her must have been more pressing than trying to hide her breasts.
勃起できる体だったら、これでしてくれていた?
Believe me, he would have been hard way before that. She looks over to me with a mischievous smile. Of course it would have. The blood rushes to my head, leading to me shouting out the answer. Unfortunately, it's rushing to the wrong head. But I don't stop there. I'd have gone further than that. I would have, well, just gone straight for... Oh, forget it. I never said anything. I immediately spin away, unable to look her in the eyes. I was about to blurt out the worst thing ever. Maybe the worst thing ever if they weren't into you, but she's literally letting you stare at her tits, so I don't think it'd be that bad. Thank goodness I caught myself in time to jam my mouth shut. She's smart enough to have worked out what I was about to say. A cold sweat breaks out all over me. I doubt she's about to apologize for teasing me too much. She might be very tolerant, but telling her I was about to launch myself at her is completely a step too far. So I'm sure she's angry. The question is whether she'll tell me off, be exasperated, or straight out be disgusted. Maybe it is a gulp, but that's not what a gulp sounds like. I clench my eyes shut in embarrassment. This might just be how my first love comes to an end. I probably allowed myself to get carried away because of how accepting Kaguya always is. That's what led to me blurting that out. You know, I will say, this is sort of my one critique to the sort of teasing character, right? Especially if it's being used in a way where the character is obviously doing it to mask her true feelings for the main character. But at the same time, they do it to seduce the main character. But if the main character is as dense as someone like Riku, the teasing sort of backfires, right? And I understand it's not the fault of the girl in this situation, because, you know, they're laying it on pretty fucking thick whenever they're trying to tease the main character. But it's the fault of the writers for writing such a dense protagonist. Right? Sure, they do it on purpose, but that doesn't change the fact that it's annoying when the main character doesn't see the very fucking obvious signs. Like Kaguya literally letting him see her tits. So, you know, while Kaguya, as the character, I love her very much. The route, I'm really not liking. And it's all because of Riku. It's 99% because of Riku and how he's written in the route, especially in this route. But there's no taking back those words now. So I'm just gonna have to take Kaguya's response like a man. Huh? I find it strange that no words of anger or disgust have been flung in my way. In fact, Kaguya still hasn't said a single word. I look back at her, desperate to know what's going on. Only to have my breath taken away. Kaguya's gone bright red. She's curled herself up slightly and is staring down to the ground. I'm about to ask what's wrong when...
忘れられる
けがないわ。
She whispers faintly. Her long, downcast eyelashes tremble in embarrassment.
忘れるなんて無理よ。
There's no longer a trace of composure in her voice or expression. All of the maturity I've come to expect from her has vanished. It's almost as if Kaguya
だって
is just a girl right now. She continues to whisper.
男性にあなたに女として求めてもらえて、だけどあなたは無理やりはしたくないという理性も持っていてくれて、それはつまりあなたは私のことを大事にしたいと思ってくれているのよね。
She finally timidly turns her eyes toward me. She's embarrassed and confused. Her eyes sway as if she doesn't know what's going on.
嬉しいけど、それ以上に恥ずかしくてしょうがないの。恥ずかしいのに胸を隠せないの。どうしても隠せないの。
Yeah, thank God they're in a secluded area.
ただただ自分の中で今まで知らなかった音が鳴り響き続けるばかりで。
Hey, you want me to you want me to you want me to you know you want me to you want me to you want me to you want me to feel that feel your heartbeat in your chest or some never mind.
わからないの。私はどうしてこうなってしまっているの？ねえ、教えて。リック、どうしてなの？
I don't think you should be asking about Riku what's going on. He doesn't know half of the shit I don't think he knows half of the shit that's happened in this route. The breath has been caught in my throat this entire time. My heart is pounding like a jackhammer, stopping me from breathing. This means that I have her answer. She also... The moment I realize it, there's no stopping me. For the first time in my life, I find myself needing to work up the courage and get it all out there. Finally. I'm sorry. To me or to her? I can't forget about it either. I could never forget hearing those words from the girl I like.
リック、好きな、それって
Yeah, I've only got eyes for you now, Kaguya. It's been that way for a while, actually. I could just never say it. I want you, Kaguya. All of you. Your heart, body, and soul, and especially your tits. That's how much I like you. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna put it out there. Listen to me, Kaguya.
はい。
I really like you, Kaguya. May I have the honor of being your boyfriend? Kaguya trembles. I could see a light glowing inside her wide-open eyes. She breathes a heated sigh before smiling gently at me.
これは恋なのね。私はあなたに恋をしていたのね。
There's delight in her voice, but reassurance too. She's finally figured out what that ringing in her chest is.
あなたも一緒だったのね。
Yeah, I think.
なんて嬉しい。いつの間にかつながれていたのね。 私たち。
We were pretty insistent about making one, to be fair.
あなたがそんな私を受け入れてくれたからよ。
She looks away for a moment, pursing her lips together. It seems longing in a way, but it's her way of gathering her resolve. Her instincts are guiding her expression. Before long, her lips slowly part.
お受けします。いえ、私からもお願いいたします。どうか私の恋人になってください。
She says, her smile brimming with the elegance and courtesy of a princess. I feel like our inexperience and awkwardness led to us doing things in an awfully roundabout manner. But honestly, none of that matters anymore. Not now that she's my girlfriend. Now that we both know how special we are to each other.
天使創造リブート。
Alright, I guess we have seen that. We have seen that one. We have seen that transition. Alright. So, now that we're going out and all.
え、
It's the day after we asked each other out. Yesterday we were both so overcome with emotion. So after Kaguya fixed up her swimsuit, we spent most of our time just sitting beside each other, barely talking. Occasionally we'd exchange glances and share a giggle. That was all it took for us to feel satisfied. But after sleeping on it, I realized the problem with that. So I contacted Kaguya and asked her to come to the park to talk about it.
まずあなたはどうしたいの？
Because I figured we should sit down and talk about it, but you couldn't have done that. Okay, well, I mean, I know why he couldn't have done that at her place or his place, but like, you know, I'm sure Kaguya could have asked Orie to leave at and yeah.
いきなり襲うのではないのね。
You know, it's less realistic to imagine that Riku could get well, I guess only Amane and Noah to leave, but you know, I'm sure Kaguya would have been able to easily ask Orie to leave, and you know, even in both instances, they don't really need to skirt around the fact that they want to talk to each other alone. I physically couldn't do that, and you know it, so don't even say it.
ごめんなさい。あなたに呼び出してもらえただけでドキドキしてしまって、つい。
I feel the same. My heart started pounding the moment I saw you.
今の言葉でさらにドキドキさせられてしまったわ。
This is like yesterday all over again.
そうね。これだけでもなんだか胸が嬉しさに満たされるけど。
Well, that's one way to say it.
あなたの話を聞いたらもっと満たされそうだわ。
Our conversation was heading off track, but Kaguya nudged it back in the right direction for me. This is one of the greatest things about talking with girls. And now that I'm dating one, I've been made to feel it all the more. Almost as if I'm falling for her all over again.
それでどんな話かしら。
It's, like a declaration of intent, kind of. Or maybe more of a proposal. But not in that way. He can't afford a ring yet. First, I want you to know how serious I am about going out with you, Kaguya.
しっかり考えてくれたのね。
I mean, do you really need to emphasize it? I'm sure she knows. Because of how much I care about you, yeah.
ええ、もう今の段階でもすごく感じるわ。私を大事に思ってくれているから。
Even the way she tries to draw more information out of me feels great. It reminds me of how smart she is. It lets me know how intently she's listening to my every word. Yeah, see, now he loves getting teased, I guess. But before, he only thought of her teasing as like something that had nothing to do with love. Sure, let's go with that. There's only one word to sum up all the emotions swelling in my chest, and that's love. I really do love everything about this girl. And now that I've reminded myself of that, yeah, you need to keep reminding yourself about how much you love Kaguya. That's definitely how you... That's definitely how you prove that you love Kaguya, by constantly telling yourself that you love Kaguya. Right. So I want to take this step by step.
一つずつ丁寧にしっかり積み重ねていきたいということね。
I mean, you know, I think they skipped a few steps, but sure, you can start from square one again. Yeah, and there are a few reasons for that. Like I said earlier, it's mostly because I care about you, and I want this relationship to work out.
ええ、こうして話してくれていることもその一環ね。
Obviously, there's the fact that you're a princess. We're not getting away from that no matter what.
あら、そうかしら。
Okay, well, you know, here's the thing, right? Sure, you may have been able to get away with it before you were almost assassinated, but not anymore. Reincarnation of Diablo or not, I'm just your average guy. That's why I think it's important to build our relationship up. Basically, what I mean is, I want to show everyone that I am a suitable boyfriend for you. And then there's, well, you know, maybe I shouldn't be coming out and saying this to your face. You're just so attractive, Kaguya. If I don't focus on taking this step by step, I might, you know, like...
最後まで聞かせて。
Don't look at me like that when I'm trying to finish my thought. I might, lose control and skip a bunch of steps, maybe. Like you haven't already.
耳まで真っ赤よ。
I'm fully aware of how embarrassing that was. So, anyway, that's what I think. What about you, Kaguya?
全面的に賛同するわ。
She answers without a moment's hesitation. Her adorable flushed cheeks and cute smile make my heart skip a beat.
もちろん、私にも思うところはあるわ。完全にあなたの考えと同じというわけではない。だけど、私に対してひたすら誠実であろうとしてくれている恋人に。
She brings a hand up to her voluptuous chest. Okay, of course she does.
ここがキュンとしてしまったんだもの。もう女としては喜んで全面賛成の意を表するしかないでしょ。
Yeah, you need to specify woman because she ain't like the other girls in Angelic Chaos. She's a I mean, she's around the same age, but she's a woman, right? She's mature. I appreciate that, but like, if you do think differently, maybe we should talk about it so we can work something out. I'm not insistent on getting everything my way.
ありがとう。だけどね、私の思うところなんて結局は些細な話なの。
What are you talking about? I know a lot about VNs by memory. Blah 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 blah. Did you hear about the screaming at the Grammys? No, because I don't pay attention to the Grammys. I don't want to talk about that either. Then why did you bring it up? You also put in a "What Blue Archive girl are you?" quiz, and I don't play Blue Archive. if it was what Genshin girl are you, then maybe I would be interested in doing that, but I don't know what I'm talking about either. Once again, why'd you bring it up? If you don't even know, if you, because I'm stupid, right? Because you're autistic, that's the excuse you can come up with. But yeah, get back to this. I don't know. Okay. And that's the point. That shouldn't be the point. You could have easily just not brought it up. In my own mind. Okay. At least elaborate on it. If it's something you made up, then
そういう風に考えてくれるリクが可愛いって感じてしまうのにはかなわないんだもの。
Kaguya. I mean that. I guess that means she likes me so much that she's willing to go along with all my ideas. She was already into you enough that she basically did foreplay for like however long. So like, why are you surprised about this? Okay then, we'll do that. Thanks.
私が可愛いと言ってももう微妙な顔にはならないのね。
He's gotten used to it. Oh, yeah. Well, you know how it is. It's true that I never considered it to be my favorite compliment, that's for sure. But now I'm genuinely happy to hear it. Yeah, now he doesn't see it as just teasing. Because I know that she likes me, and my supposedly adorable side is included in that. It tells me that this isn't just a physical attraction to us, for either of us. And to sum it up, it's because I like you.
ねえ、もう一つ聞いてもいいかしら。
Not when you look at me like that. Go ahead.
あなたはいつ、どうやって私を好きになってくれたの？
God damn it, I hate these fucking questions. Every time they ask why, it's just, bro, it's just, you know, my feelings and stuff. She smiles, her upturned eyes sparkling. You're really asking that?
聞くわ。ぜひ聞きたいわ。
I mean, you know, the when is fairly simple, right? When, pretty obvious. It was at the start of the second round. It was when you started secretly training with him.
あなたが私のどこにどうやって惚れてくれたのか分かれば、今後のお付き合いもしやすくなるし。
In what way?
自分に自信とさらなる確信が持てるということ。
Okay. Yeah, I get it. Knowing why someone fell for you certainly would give you more confidence, which would make you feel more comfortable as someone's partner. I'll tell you if you'll tell me.
私はあなたに助けてもらえた時がきっかけよ。
Well, shit, I guess I fell for you a lot sooner than you did. A lot earlier than you did. You didn't even hesitate.
あなたはあの魔法を使えたのは私を助けなきゃって必死だっただけと言ってくれたわ。
Is that the why? Yeah. It's only now that she's bringing it up, that she's bringing it back up, that I start feeling awfully embarrassed by it.
その言葉で感じたの。あなたはそこまで私を大切な存在だと思ってくれているのねって。
Kaguya speaks in a spellbound manner, as if she's recounting some beautiful dream.
感じたら自分の中で生まれて初めて聞く音が鳴ったの。
Well, I'm sure she felt very dreamy when she saw you saving her, so... the sound you were telling me about yesterday?
ええ。最初に鳴った時は、それが何なのかわからなかったけど、あなたが昨日、教えてくれた。悟らせてくれた。これは、私に、あなたへの恋が灯り、燃え始めた音だったんだわ。
Right, because there's a sound associated with it. Maybe, maybe it's because she's from another world, right? Maybe it's because Fox girls have a sound associated with... Never mind. Kaguya.
あなたとのつながりが欲しくて、いろいろ私も夢中になってしてしまったわよね。前も言った通り、最初は魔王への興味や憧れだった。
Yeah, that's associated with the first round of training.
でも、魔王とあなたは別人だとわかるほどに、あなたの力になりたいと思うようになって。
And that's linked to the second round of training.
秘密の特訓を重ねているうちに、
Special training, I mean.
あなたの反応が可愛くて好ましくて仕方なくなっていって。
You were really going on the offensive by the end of it.
だって、私だからこんな反応してくれているのよね、と思ってしまうでしょ？そうなのよねって、もっと確かめたくもなるわ。身勝手にも。
Ah, I see. That means that, in a certain sense, Kaguya was already taken with me back then. Already taken with me? Yeah. Reminiscing about how you felt for someone really is nice. Just listening to her side of the story is causing all these thoughts to race through my head. It makes me feel a little awkward, but more than that, delighted.
身勝手よ。そのせいで、あなたを前世返りさせてしまったんだもの。
Yeah, and the transmigration was a lot more aggressive than it usually is.
でもね、思い返せばその時が恋の発端というか、あなたを本当の意味で意識し始めたきっかけだった気がするわ。
Why is that?
あの時のあなた、魔王の姿で勃起していたのよ。
Of course he did. What? I was so focused on on trying to stop myself, I didn't even realize.
そして、前世返りしてすぐに、私を襲おうとした。
Yeah, thank God it's not that type of visual novel, or else there would have been a hate scene where Kaguya was getting... Never mind. I'm not finishing that sentence. Yeah, about that. I really was frantically trying to piece my mind back together to stop myself.
私は性的な意味であなたに欲してもらえていたんだと強烈に思ったわ。いえ、男性機能が戻ったら真っ先に私をと求めてくれていたんだわ。まで。
Kaguya, you could have pieced that together after the first special training, alright? You didn't need to wait until he transmigrated for you to realize that he wanted to fuck you.
どうあれ、私はそう思ってしまったの。すっごくドキドキしてしまったの。
Having my hard cock shoved in her face made her excited. Listen. Actually, I'm not going to talk about it. That's super slow. Well, no. We're not at that step yet. It just means she's into me. Yep, that's all. Thinking back now.
だからその後、ノアにたしなめられて、もう二人だけで特訓できなくなったのが切なくて。
Well, yeah, you weren't able to play with your boy toy anymore.
せっかく結ばれ始めた縁が、断ち切られたかのように思えて。
Oh yeah, and that too. I mean, I brought that up before, but...
だから、
Ow.
あなたが訪ねてきてくれた時は、 本当に嬉しかったわ。
Listen, I already brought up that the special training was Kaguya's only form of connection with Riku during the summer holidays, right? I don't need to bring that part up again.
話の流れで自然と、あなたに好意を抱いていると言ってしまったくらいに。
Oh, yeah, that you did. Now that we're talking about it, it feels like our relationship is the natural conclusion of all the events leading up to it. I mean, Riku, this sentence should apply to most relationships, not just yours. I wonder if reminiscing like this is kind of emotional makeout. Wait, what? I wonder, is reminiscing like this a kind of emotional makeout session? Okay, yeah. You know, talking about your feelings with someone is an emotional makeout session. All she's doing is telling me how she felt for me, but she's blushing red, and her eyes are clouding over. It feels like we're using words to rub the most sensitive parts of our souls together. And now it's my turn. That was the exact moment when I realized I liked you, Kaguya.
そうだったの?
Yeah, the moment I was able to get rock hard was when I fell for you. Up until that point, I sort of wondered if it wasn't just me being horny.
ちょっと待って。その前から、最初から聞かせて、お願い。
She heard the word, she heard the word horny and wants to know everything. All right, let's see. Now it's my turn to share. Kaguya shows surprise and understanding as I talk about how my emotions changed. Occasionally she blushes or giggles along with me. Though her reaction makes me feel a little awkward, they also make me happier, and so I get more and more passionate about telling my tale. In public? I don't think people want to hear that.
そうだったのね。もう。
By the time I finished, she's pressed up against me, squirming about.
あなたも私も本当に初めての恋なのね。振り返るとお互い不器用にも程があるわ。
True, but I think that's why I was actually able to ask you out. I've never told anyone I liked them before.
それは私も一緒よ。あなただから今こうして寄り添える仲になれたの。
Are they? Are they though? Guess we're even then.
そうね。どちらが優位というわけではないのもなんだかすごく嬉しい。
I mean, I'm sure you want him to be above you, but metaphorically speaking, everything she says is true. It comes down to all the time we've spent together. If it weren't for everything we've been through, I wouldn't have found her unapproachable. Especially considering she's a princess of all things.
なに?
It's not sex, it's the fact that you're a princess, unfortunately. Oh, just how much I like you, Kaguya.
私も何度言っても言われても胸がときめくものなのね。
By this point, we've just started flirting, having gone completely off topic.
そんな交際を始めた私たちが最初に踏むべき段階は何なんでしょうね。
Well, you first need to roll You first need to roll back from foreplay and start at a normal level, right? You know, flirting with each other, going on dates with each other, stuff that you've already done together, but now you're together officially, so the date is going to feel different than the first time you went on a date together before you were going to get assassinated. never mind. But Kaguya brings us back on track once more. I really do love this girl. Good question. Obviously, spending time alone together is important, but...
二人っきりのことではないこと。
See, now we're on to the main topic, because here's the thing. They've already spent enough time alone together. So now, we're on to the meat and potatoes.
となると、やっぱり関係各位へのご報告かしら。
Are you saying that they don't know you're together? You know, with all of the stuff that you've done together, I would be surprised if they didn't gather that you weren't together. That's probably a good idea. You know, it feels like this is the Orie situation all over again, right? You know, Riku and Orie talked about how they should tell everyone that they're together, but lo and behold, everyone already knew they were together, right? And they were just surprised that the information was that they were that they were sharing was that they're together and not that Orie is pregnant. So it feels like it's going to be the same thing here, where Orie, Yamane, Noah, they already know that Kaguya and Riku are together. I mean, I guess it's better here because Kaguya and Riku aren't telling them at the end of the route. Because of Kaguya's position, my circumstances, and everything that's happened, but so far, honestly, I'm not super keen on the idea.
Riku?
Oh, no, it's nothing. I can't allow myself to get cold feet here. No coward could hope to build a proper relationship with Kaguya, after all. But to me, she's worth the effort it'll take. Alright, we're doing this. Better to strike while the iron's hot. My mind made up, I take out my phone.
では、みんな、急遽集まってもらったのは、
First of all, Orie, it's not because Kaguya's pregnant, we're just dating. Actually, Kaguya, would you mind if I took it from here?
そうよね。男性としては。気が利かなくてごめんなさい。
From that one interaction, right? Even if all of the characters were clueless about how Kaguya and Riku obviously liked each other, from that single interaction, I can guarantee you all of them would infer that, oh, they're dating now. Right? Maybe Orie would be in denial, or maybe Noah's, you know, too much of an airhead to really piece it together. But like with Amane and Kurumi, they were already barely aware of Kaguya and Riku's feelings for each other, right? So like, you know, I should have told you beforehand, but I appreciate that you were going to do it.
私も言ってもらえて嬉しかったわ。
Okay, like, at this point, I don't think they need to say anything.
育ちのせいで、どうしても自分が前に出る癖が私にはあるから、今後も今みたいに教えてね。
Well, there's a reason why so many people want you to be the queen. It's because of actions like this. Oh, sure thing. And especially since the other candidate for being the king. Yeah, sure. Especially since your brother likes to send assassins to kill their the opposing political opponent. Never mind.
頼もしい。
Not dissimilar to never mind.
いや、急に呼ばれて訳もわからずイチャついてるのを見せられても困る。
Oh, whoops, my bad.
まあ、おかげで用事は大体察しがついたけど。
すごいね、くるみ。僕は未だにさっぱりなんだが。
What did I say? I fucking told you. Amane and Kurumi caught on pretty fucking quickly, and Noah is a bit too airheaded. I just need to see Aurier's reaction, cause like, you know, I said Aurier would be a denial, but we already know that Aurier approves of Riku, right? So like maybe she also caught on. I'm sure that little exchange made it obvious, unless you're Noah. But that's not good enough. I still need to give them the explanation they deserve. Do you really? Well, it all started when we it all started at the start of summer break, where when Kaguya would secretly sneak into my room at night and touch me. But it was all secret training, so it was all never mind. Kaguya and I want to inform you all that we started dating as of yesterday. I say firmly with a deep bow.
きちんとしたお付き合いを始めるにあたっては、まずは関係各位にご報告が必要。二人で話し合った結論です。そういう次第で、何卒よろしくお願いいたします。
The only difference between this and Aurier's route is that they're telling everyone after confessing and not waiting until the end of the route to tell everyone that they're dating. Kaguya throws in an addendum, and then follows my lead and bows when we both raise our heads. Why are you backing away?
いや、これは引いてんじゃなくてね。いや、もともと怪しいと思ってたし、ほぼ決定的って気がしてたけどさ。
Okay, and Noah, what are you gonna be a blushy mess?
まさかこんな風にくっついて即日にはっきり公表されるとは思ってなかったというか。しかも一昨日ああだったのが今日はこれだもんね。早っってなるよね。
It would seem they're not creeped out or anything, but simply overwhelmed. Well, yeah, I don't think you needed to bow.
とにかくご丁寧にありがとうございます。
Don't look at me like that.
まあ、こそこそされるよりはいいか。ってわけで了解。お幸せに。よかったね。おめでとう。
Why were those questions?
仕方ないじゃん。こういうケースに的確な言葉がよくわかんないんだもん。
You're just jealous, Amane, because I already picked you in the I already went through your route. You just want me to do it again.
お兄に彼女ができるなんて未来永劫ありえんって正直思ってたし。
Yeah, and you were hoping you'd be his girlfriend. You literally just said you assumed something was going on.
そうなんだけどね。でも、お兄への信頼感の方がなんだかんだで勝ってたみたいな。
You trusted in my ability to be single my whole life.
あ、私は普通におめでとうだし、頑張ってって感じだよ。
See, I haven't played through Kurumi's route, so I don't know if she already liked him or not. I mean, I can infer that she did, just, you know. I don't know if it's as much as Amane. Oh, thanks, Kohibari. Thanks, Kohibari.
あれだけの爆乳美女は激レアだから、ほんと頑張んなきゃだよね、谷風くん。
Don't worry, I'm ready to put in the work. Am I the only one who thinks Kohibari was thinking about a different kind of work there? Though I bring that up, she's probably going to say something crazy again, so I'd better not. Oh, she's still processing it. That you're awfully quiet then. Oh, you were listening to us, right?
聞いていたとも。しっかり咀嚼して理解に努めていた。つまり二人は。
Was it really that difficult to understand what we were?
同人誌みたいなことをする仲になったんだ。
She's finally processed it. That's what you're thinking about? No, we're not.
恋人同士ならセクチはするんだろ同人誌みたいに
I mean, to be fair, it's not like they haven't done anything similar to having sex, right? You know, they've done raunchy enough things that the CGs had to be censored in the all ages version. All right, that's all I'm gonna say. But they haven't gone as far as to have a scene that was completely cut out of the route yet, right? So they haven't had sex. As curious as I am to know what kind of doujins you're reading, no, we're not. So settle down. The kind of doujins she's reading are the ones in Amane's room. So like, bring it up to her. Bring it up with her. I kind of have issues getting it up at the moment. Noah really struggles when it comes to these kinds of conversations, though in a certain sense, I think she might actually be the most prepared. Is she? I don't know. I don't think you can call someone whose only experience with sex ed being through doujins experienced. Prepared, I mean. I don't think Noah is the most prepared because she only thinks of relationships in doujin form. In any case, we've now had 3 different reactions from 3 different people, and well, Orie, you're gonna have the biggest reaction, or the which brings us to the biggest problem. Kaguya told me that she was so spaced out when she got home yesterday that she forgot to inform Orie, which would mean that right now was the first time she heard about it, or she heard anything about it. She's been extremely quiet this whole time. Honestly, it's terrifying. It's fine, alright? She already gave you her blessing. Even though you may not have realized it, and even though she also may not have realized it, but I realized it because I'm smarter than you. I'm smarter than both of you. Orie, I'm metagaming this shit, alright?
Sex, 成功、まぐわい、交尾、性欲解消。
Okay, don't listen to what Noah's saying, alright? Because he can't even get it up yet. Alright, that's gonna take a while. I mean, he already did once, but you know, that was after he transmigrated, right? That the special training was to make sure that he could get it up without having to transmigrate. Even though we have seen on multiple occasions that he did not need that special training before in other routes to get it up. But we don't talk about that. That's for a different time. That was for before. That was for the before times.
谷風さんがそういうお相手を欲してらっしゃるなら、どうかこの私で我慢していただきたい。
I'm not opposed to a harem with Orie, but you know, I kind of have to stay loyal to Kaguya. She never changes. It's just like Noah. She's forgotten all about my erectile dysfunction. Every time he brings, like, I say it as a joke, but then every time he brings it up, right, which somehow makes this even worse.
もちろん、姫様には遠く及びませんが、私も周囲の同僚から男好きする体だと。
You have the body of a side character, so she's not wrong.
オリエ
She immediately dives into her trademark gag, now slightly abbreviated, only to hold her tongue when Kaguya speaks up. Kaguya takes a calm yet commanding approach as she examines the situation to her attendant.
私たちはお互い思い合っているからこそこういう関係になろうと言い交わしたの。
And also after a lot of foreplay. A lot of foreplay.
彼のすべては私のもの。
私のすべては彼のもの。心も体もよ。それが私たちの望み。姫様。
Yeah, listen, Orie, you already got to experience Riku in your route. Alright? Just because your route was leagues below anything else in this game doesn't mean you didn't already get a shot with him.
だからこそ、オリエにもきちんと報告したの。なぜなのか、分かってくれるわよね。
I guess I should say, even though Kaguya's route is leagues above Orie's. Orie hangs her head hesitating, but soon enough her head shoots back up, her expression far more composed.
衝動的ではなく、よくお考えになっての結論なら、承知いたしましたとしか申し上げられません。オリエ。
See, the foreplay was done in the spur of the moment. The confession wasn't.
いろいろと思うところはありますが、姫様が初めて心より望まれたことをどうして私が否定できましょうか。
It would seem she's decided not to be accepting.
だからこそ姫様、お立場に絡む面倒なもろもろは全てこの私にお任せください。
The only issue that I hope arises from the situation, from her position is Riku's issue.
姫様はどうかこれまでと同じく、ご自身の思いのままにお進みください。わかったわ。これからもよろしくね、オリエ。はい、姫様。
So like, you know, I know the possibility is unlikely, but like, surely there could be a potential H scene with Orie and Kaguya together, right? Right? You know, out of all of the characters, if there was ever a H scene that was a threesome, right? The pairing that makes the most sense is Orie and Kaguya, right? You know, Kurumi and Fumika are kind of alone by themselves. I mean, sure, Kurumi could have like Kaede and the other friend, but they're not route characters. They have naked sprites, but that's because of an after story. And also, yeah. And then there's Amane and Noah, and like, for both cases, it would be weird because Amane is Riku's sister. Orie's done more than just accept the situation. She's shown that out of respect for her master, she's willing to tackle any issues that occur. It's obvious how important Kaguya is to Orie. So this calls for me too. I want to promise you too, Orie.
はい。いえ、先ほどは失礼なことを申し上げました。お詫びいたします。
I mean, I'm not opposed to you offering your body up to Riku, but, you know, like I said, she already did it before. You don't need to apologize. You're only trying to act in Kaguya's best interest by giving Riku an in to cheat on her with you. Which is why I feel the need to say this to you. I swear that I'll take care of Kaguya even more than you do. No. That's not possible.
Tanikaze-san.
You're able to take care of needs that you specifically can help her with, and Orie can take care of needs that she can specifically help Kaguya with. That didn't make sense. I wanted to have a girl as amazing as her fall in love with me, so I swear I love her with my whole heart, nothing less. You didn't need to react, Kurumi. That statement ends up moving everyone, not just Orie. I feel embarrassed enough without them reacting, but I can hardly complain about it now. As for Aurier, she currently has the most stern expression on her face. She's currently processing what you just said. Have I not earned your Have I not earned your trust yet?
いえ、
Enough?
谷風さんは、誓いとおっしゃいました。でしたら疑うわけには参りません。お願いいたします。どうか、姫様のお望みを叶えて差し上げてください。
Yeah, but like, what dream? Because, you know, there's only one dream I could think of that Riku could help fulfill, and it's to do with Diablo and his peanuts. She then gives me the most courteous bow possible, but that's not all.
私にとってはもはや、あなた様もお支えするお方です。匙はすべて、お任せください。
But once again, you're giving him an in to cheat on you with Kaguya. I mean, he's not going to do it, but like, once again, that threesome is, it's still on the table. Thank you. The only thing I can do in response is give her the politest bow I can manage. But when I raise my head...
ただし、もし仮に先ほどのお言葉に偽りがあれば、その時は容赦しませんので。
Don't worry, I'm telling the truth. I end up standing up with my back dead straight. Everyone else starts giggling. Of course they do.
私も精一杯に愛し抜くし、リクの望みを叶えていくわね。
Until Kaguya speaks up with a beaming smile across her face. Phew. I sigh as I put my mug down, having just finished the tea Aurier made for me. We ended up having a little celebration after we made our report. The rest of the gang just left a few moments ago.
気疲れした？リク？
They just kept bombarding me with the questions, and only me for some reason. Of course, no, Amane Koibari wanted to know everything about how we started dating, but they didn't pose a single question to Kaguya. It's exhausting being forced to divulge one secret after another, and I mean that in several ways. Look, just be thankful that you didn't have sex with her, because that would be that would be the only thing you would have to talk about to them. That would be the only thing they would want to know. I give my cheeks a hard rub to try and hide the fact that I'm still blushing.
反応が可愛いから、みんなもリクから話を聞きたがったのかもしれないわね。
Not sure how I feel. Not sure how I feel about other girls finding me adorable.
じゃあ、私はずっと可愛いあなたを楽しませてもらっていた。ではダメ？
Look. Never mind. Nah, I could get away with it. You could get away with it.
もう、
Yeah.
私の恋人はどこまで可愛いの？
You can get away with it. She smiles, unable to hide her happiness. Personally, I think she's far cuter than I am. It makes me want to jump up and start kissing her, but I can't do that right after declaring that we'd take things step by step, so I resist. Like I said, you've already gone past a few stages. I can make up for everything I've held back once we get to that stage anyway. Now I'm eagerly awaiting that day to come, but I digress.
今度は男らしい顔だわ。何かしら？
How much he wants to fuck, that's what's on his mind. We've gotten through telling everyone, yeah, so I was thinking about the next step.
え？まだ住んでないでしょ？
Don't... Okay, who are you going to bring up? Wait, who else are we supposed to tell?
ある意味で一番大事な関係者が残っているじゃない。
Listen, I'm just saying... outside of Noah's route, I don't think Riku's parents knew that he was dating someone, especially Amani's route. But we don't have to talk about that. I'm referring to Orie and Fumika's route as well. Probably also Fumika's route. His parents didn't need to know. But Orie and Noah, alright, those. Never mind.
ご両親へのご報告とご挨拶もちゃんとするべきだわ。
You know, just like with only Orie, just like with Orie's parents, they didn't need to know that she was dating Riku. What? You want to meet my mom and dad? They're the most important people. We finally got the Slay cosplay. We finally got Kaguya's Slay cosplay.
お初にお目にかかります。星川かぐやと申します。これはどうもご丁寧に。リクの母の谷風ゆずきです。
I hate that her name is Yuzuki because that's the name of the fucking protagonist in Amaro Chocolate. I mean, I guess it should be the other way around. I hate that the protagonist of Amaro Chocolate's name is Yuzuki because that's Riku's mom's name.
ほら、お父様。
ああ、ようこそ。
Oh my god! Okay, you know what? Introducing Kaguya to his parents has made it all worth it simply for the fact that we've finally gotten his dad's name and voice. He doesn't have a sprite, who would have guessed? But we got everything else. It's only the next day, but Kaguya's already come over. In truth, I should have gone to meet Kaguya's parents first. No, because they're in a different world, so I think it's a lot harder for you to meet them. However, her mother has already passed away, and her father is currently imprisoned in a different world at that. What do you mean imprisoned? I thought he was sick. I didn't realize your brother I didn't realize her brother locked him up as well. Current circumstances make doing so impossible, which is what led to this. Yeah, we don't have to bring up the fact that her brother has hired assassins to kill her either, but you know, we can worry about that part until later. We can worry about that part until after we've introduced Kaguya to his parents, to Riku's parents. This whole thing is making me feel so awkward. I understand that this was Kaguya's way of sympathizing with my desires to do things properly. So I spoke to my parents and asked them to make some time for us. It helps that it's a weekend, and so neither of them are working.
お時間をいただきまして、誠にありがたく存じます。本日は、お二人にご挨拶とご報告をいたしたく、こうしてお邪魔いたしました次第です。
Kaguya really mastered this whole courteous thing. Well, she is a fucking princess. What do you expect? She exudes maturity and elegance, giving off the aura of someone truly of high status. I find myself captivated, even though I'm well aware of her qualities already. Yeah, so why are you pointing them out like we as the audience don't already know these qualities as well?
リクさん。
Oh, now's not the time to be captivated. I hurriedly straighten myself up. Mom, Dad, I asked you to meet with us today to inform you that Kaguya and I started dating the other day. Yeah, see, they're stunned simply because of how Riku was able to bag the hottest chick in fucking Japan.
お宅のリクさんに交際を申し込んでいただき、私は喜んでお受けいたしました。
Maybe I shouldn't say Japan. I'll just say the hottest chick in this city, in this district, in this town. Okay, now I'm going backwards. In this, I'm blanking on the word. Is why I'm trying to fucking stall.
ふつつか者ではございますが、精一杯にリクさんを愛してまいりますので。
In this province, there you go. That's what I was thinking of.
お父様、お母様、何卒よろしくお願いいたします。そして、本当にありがとうございます。お二人がいらっしゃらなければ、私はリクさんと出会えませんでした。
The hottest girl in this area code. Okay, I'll stop.
本当に、ありがとうございます。私の恋は、お二人のおかげで実っても当然です。
Kagi kneels down and bows so deeply her head touches the floor. Okay. Kagi, I know that they're his parents, but you don't need to do all this. Alright. I bet she started Googling Japanese etiquette the moment I left yesterday. But she's got such an incredible natural elegance that it doesn't come across as superficial in the slightest. Well, she probably practiced with Ori or something. It's evident she comes from a well-off family, and from this, one would assume she's the daughter of one of Japan's most prominent houses. In politics, or what, celebrity status, or what do you mean? Where are you coming from this? Where are you going with this? So Kagi greets my parents, and they...
恐縮です。
My dad's response is, well, it is what it is. But my mum is wide-eyed and frozen to the spot. Frozen to the spot. Frozen in place? Frozen on the spot. Whatever.
お母様、いかがなさいました？
Like I said, she is flabbergasted that Riku was able to bag the hottest chick in insert area.
いや、かぐやさん？はい。いえ、かぐやとお呼びください。
Don't look at her like that. You can only do that with me. Riku, I mean, never mind.
いや、何？大丈夫？うちのバカ息子に何か弱みとか握られたりしてない？
Yeah, she's being paid to be his girlfriend. Mom, what did you just call me? Of course I'm not. I immediately retort, dropping all pretenses of being polite. But this just makes this just makes her throw her hands up.
いや、だって信じられないでしょ。ありえないって思っちゃうでしょ。リクがこんな美人でグラマーなのに、清楚で上品なものすっごいお嬢様を射止めるとか。
What did I say? What do you mean posh? Posh is an adjective exclusively used to describe British people. I'd be lying if I said I had no idea where you were coming from. But this is reality, and it's true. And it's time you accepted it. No, you're not dreaming. Kogi is my girlfriend.
了解。罰ゲームかなんかね。なるほど。
See, the only reason Yuzuki wasn't flabbergasted over Noah dating Riku was because she was literally caught in the act, quote unquote, in the act with Noah and Riku in the same bed. Why are you so desperate to avoid reality?
だって本当に信じられないんだもん。
Actually, if Yuzuki caught Kaguya and Riku sleeping in the same bed together, he would probably think Kaguya was a prostitute. So you know what? Maybe it's better that she didn't get. Maybe it's better that they didn't get caught sleeping together. Who says golly gee anymore?
年は関係ないでしょうが年は。やんの？いいわよ。表出なさいよ息子。
No, we won't. Sit down and calm yourself. You're making a fool of yourself in front of my girlfriend.
ごめんなさいね、かぐやさん。違う、かぐやちゃん？
Once again, you just use Kaguya. My mom's been in an incredible fluster, but it seems she snapped back to her senses somewhat.
大変お見苦しいところ。
お母様。はい。リクさんは私が今まで見てきた中で一番素敵で魅力的な男性です。
Hang on a minute, Kogi. You probably shouldn't say that. I thought maybe try not to sound like you're being paid by Riku. All right.
本当に彼のすべてが私を引きつけてやまないんです。胸を高鳴らせてくれるんです。私はもう寝ても覚めても彼のことを考えてしまっているくらい夢中の恋をしています。
Okay, you're going a bit far with that one.
リクさんに続婚なんです。
Kaguya, my chest feels like it's burning. I could feel the welling emotions coursing through my veins. I can't believe she just told my mom how much she loves me. I know mom was struggling to keep up, but still.
ですからお母様、どうか。
You need... Okay, see, the Kaguya's strategy is to overwhelm Yuzuki with so much emotion that she'll completely shut down.
お母様、
大丈夫？
Kaguya, you need to keep going. It clearly it hasn't worked yet. You need to don't start this again.
だってここまで思ってもらえてるんならリクもきちんと答えなきゃでしょ。でもあんたにできるのかしらって母親としては心配にもなるでしょうが。
Gee, I wonder why. Maybe it's because you don't show him as... Maybe, you know what? The reason why Yuzuki is so flabbergasted by Kaguya dating Riku isn't because of how hot she is. It's because... It's because Kaguya loves Riku more than Yuzuki does. Well, you don't need to worry. And I don't mean because Kaguya can love Riku sexually. I mean in the... Never mind. I was blessed with the opportunity to meet a girl I care about more than anyone in the whole world. No doubt, I'm going to give her everything I can. Because God knows she deserves it. So I hold my head up with pride to say that, oh... partway through running my mouth, I snap back to my senses. I can't believe I blurted out that impassioned speech in front of my parents. I wish the ground would swallow me up. Although that might have already done the trick. Might just have done the trick.
そこまで言えるわけね。
Okay, don't go looking at him like that.
なら言った通りに頑張りなさいよ。
Mom.
それでかぐやちゃん、ずいぶんなお嬢様だとは思うけど、ご出身はどこなの？
Oh, you know, she's from a different school. I mean, she's from a different country. Or maybe she's just brushing me off. My mom leans forward and starts questioning Kaguya, desperate to talk to her.
詳細は省きますが、遠い外国の王家の血筋を引いています。
王家の血筋？でも名前は日本の。
これは日本で暮らすにあたって名乗ることにした名前です。本名は別にあります。
へえ、なんかすごい。どうして日本に来たの？
リクさんに巡り合うためでしょうか。
Okay, Kaguya, if you're going to start lying to his mom, at least come up with a good lie. You know, you had all night to think about it. You had all night to think about these questions.
そういうのさらっと言えるのがすごいわよね。じゃあ今どこに住んでるの？
駅前の背の高いマンションです。
ひょっとしてあの分譲の高級タワマン？ やっぱ王家の血筋ともなれば違うのね。
She's talking about how expensive the high rise is, and Kaguya didn't even mention that she lives in the penthouse of it.
ってことは慣れない土地でいろいろ大変よね。その辺リクをこき使ってくれていいからね。
ありがとうございます。
Like Kaguya hasn't already used Riku to help her anyway.
いえいえ、これからもぜひよろしくね。
My mom is getting far too carried away. Well, now, you see, here's the thing, right? Izuki's moved from being so stunned over the fact that Riku is dating the hottest chick in the world. Now she's thinking about the children that Riku and Kaguya are going to be making. Yeah, she's thinking about how cute the babies will be. Kaguya is acting perfectly calm, but all the stress I'm feeling must be taking years off my life.
夜はどこかで外食にしようか。
いいわね。お近づきの印に。
And now my dad's joined the conversation. It looks like we'll be having dinner together tonight. Oh God, I don't even want to imagine it. You know, all the questions that she's going to be asking. I beat. I sigh as I sit down on my bed. This has been happening to me a lot lately, but there are plenty of things to be happy about too. I think this is the perfect opportunity for a Kaguya lap pillow. Thoughts? We've finished our introduction, so Kaguya and I have come up to my room. It's been a while since you were last in here, huh? Yeah, I wonder what you two were doing together the last time she was here. To be specific, she hasn't been back since our final secret training session. Thinking about how much has changed since then has my heart bouncing in my chest as I'm filled with happiness.
そうね。
She nods as she thinks it over and slightly curls up.
だから、どうしてもいろいろ思い出してしまって。実はずっと、ドキドキが止まらないの。
Well, you know, now that Kaguya and Riku have talked to their friends about how they're dating and have talked to his parents about how they're dating, you know, what do you think the next step is going to be? Holding hands? Going on dates? Yeah, they've already done that. Making out? Fucking, maybe not that last one, but that confession with her bashful smile and upturned eyes hit me right in the heart. Before I know it, I've gotten to my feet. It's as if gravity is pulling me toward Kaguya. I place my hands on her shoulders, then slowly lean into. And I snap back to my senses just before we meet. Shaking my head, I pull back. Sorry, I shouldn't have. After the number of times I've said we have to take this step by step.
その、接吻、キスをしようとしてくれていたのよね。
Your shy smile got me going, and before I knew it, I'm sorry.
それほどに、したいと強く思ってくれているのなら、あなたが望むなら、私は構わないけど。
Thanks, but it's too soon. To me, at least, it feels like there are more steps to take before we get there.
本当に精一杯大切にしようとしてくれているのね。
Of course I am. If it's you we're talking about. So, on that note, I straighten on my back before bowing to Kaguya. I can't allow myself to show weakness just because Kaguya would allow me to get away with it. That wouldn't be manly of me. Of course, I want to desperately, but most of all, I want to do this in a way where I never have to feel guilty. You're doing that to yourself. Would you like to go on our first date tomorrow? It's important to do these things properly. That's what I think.
ちゃんとしなきゃという義務感だけで誘っているわけではないわよね。
I'd say it's more a sense of duty than obligation, but obviously that's not the only reason. Kagi is right, alright? The only reason you're asking her out before kissing her is because you feel like because you feel obligated to take things step by step. Any guy would want to go on a date with his new girlfriend.
ならよかった。必要ばかりでは積み重ねというよりも消化だものね。
But, you know, most guys would probably go on a date before telling your parents and friends that you're dating each other.
お誘い、嬉しく存じます。謹んでお受けいたしますわ。
Come on, no need to act so polite with me. It makes me feel all awkward.
あら、くすぐったいということは、いいと思ってくれているということじゃないの？そもそも、丁寧にお誘いいただけたんだから、こちらも丁重にお返事すべきだと思うけど。
We both know you're just poking fun at me.
バレちゃったわ。
I don't really mind it at this point, but I would like you to act naturally around me. Oh, but if I'm forcing you to act that way, then it wouldn't be natural. This is tough. Riku, you're thinking too hard about it, alright? It's not that deep.
私はずっと、あなたの前では自然体よ。
Then what was all with that polite stuff? What was with all that polite stuff?
言った通りよ。ちゃんと答えたかっただけ。もちろん、そうしたらあなたの反応が可愛かったから、ちょっと調子に乗ってしまったけど。
You're definitely acting naturally. You're definitely acting naturally, Kaguya.
それと、ね。
ん？
あなたが私の言動で、ぐっと来てくれてるのを、たくさん積み重ねたい思いもあって。
Kaguya, you're lucky he can't get it up at the moment, alright?
積み重ねた分だけ、もっと私を好きになってくれたらいいなって。
And you're lucky he feels obligated to take things step by step, because if he wasn't, he would be fucking making out with you right now.
どうなのかしら、その辺。
You did get me going, and I did fall even more in love with you. She went straight from confidently teasing me to acting like an innocent girl in love. It's no surprise that got me going, and made me realize just how much I love her. Even more so now, but keep telling yourself how much you love her, because that's, once again, that definitely proves how much you love her. It's just telling yourself how much you do. Do I ever have the same effect on you?
それはもちろん、たくさん来ているけど、デートの時を楽しみにしているわね。
You're raising the bar on me.
大丈夫よ。あなたが自然にしてくれていれば。それだけで私は、ぐっとくるどころか、キュンキュンしてしまうばかりだもの。
I wonder if there's any other girl out there who'd treat me this way. I sincerely doubt it, which makes this all the more important. Once again, I feel as though becoming Kaguya's boyfriend was a miracle. I'm gonna have to make this date the best it can be. It can be.
天使創造リブート。
The next day, Sunday. My God. I will be right back. What a fucking... What a series of events. I think my mother would be reacting like Yuzuki if I ever fell in love, let alone get a girlfriend. Well, yeah, no shit, you don't leave the house except to go to the fucking... except to go to the autism coffee place. Autism coffee club. So who knows? But, yeah. We've agreed to meet by the station just past noon. 30 minutes early. I really got here too soon. Kaguya's nowhere to be seen. Given how close we are to her home, there's really no need for her to leave early just in case. Which means I'll just have to wait here until she shows up. I can't believe how nervous I'm already getting. We've met up before, but never for something as special as a date. I mean, just because you didn't call it a date before doesn't mean it wasn't a date back then. Alright? The thought of what is to come today builds anticipation, and I find myself anxiously, but eagerly awaiting her arrival. Now that I know what's going on, it's pretty cool. Now that I know what's going on, it's pretty cool. Amazing even. Crazy how a single word can change your feelings entirely.
Rick?
My heart skips a beat.
待たせちゃったみたいで。ごめんなさい。
Oh no, I just got here too early. The moment she gets here, I come alive as a heat washes over me. But not in that way. It's just hot. It's summer. Dates sure are something special, and we haven't even gotten started yet.
じゃあ、早くに来て、私を待っていてくれてありがとう。
Oh, it was nothing.
今日は何卒よろしくお願いいたします。
Kaguya not only thanks me with a smile, but also bows politely to me. From her courteousness, I can sense what this date means to her, and that makes my chest burn all the hotter. I really can't believe how happy I am so soon into our relationship. My first date with Kaguya really means a whole lot to me. Likewise, Kaguya.
というところで、リク、聞いてもいいかしら。
Sure.
そもそもデートって具体的にどういうものなの？
Yeah, I'd like to ask that question too. You agreed to this without knowing?
あなたが教えてくれるということでしょ？だったら私は無条件でお誘いをお受けするのみだもの。
Okay, don't do it. Don't do that. So she's saying she has absolute trust in me. Just how much is she trying to get me to fall in love with her? Yeah, I know exactly what you're fucking doing when you say those things. Whoa. Either this is a new background or this is one we've seen before just ages ago. Anyway, you get the idea. Well, generally speaking, it's when two people who like each other hang out together. I get us to start walking as I tell Kaguya what a date is. You could say that we were on a date when we went to the beach together, if you wanted to. Okay, so you do admit it's a date.
なるほど。つまり具体的にどうというものではないのね。
Yeah, it's not like we're doing this, so that means it's a date. It's not like we're doing this, so that means it's a date.
なら本当に私たちはすでに経験済みだったことになっちゃうわけね。
Well, you typically only call things a date after you've started going out with someone. That's also not true. So as far as I'm concerned, this is our first date.
ということは、デートとは要するに仰せのことなのね。
A tryst? A tryst? I repeat, seeing how the old-fashioned word feels in my mouth. It sounds so posh and refined, but it captures me intensely when Kaguya says it.
どうしたの？
Oh, the way you said that kind of made my heart skip a beat.
そう？私はデートという表現の方がドキドキするけど。
Question, what did you do to find the people you are currently friends with? Like, I don't know if I necessarily want friends, it is complicated, but I wouldn't know where to exactly go in my area, which is why I chose the most generalizes option on Meetup. Generalized. You do realize the most generalized option would not be a club. It's just the street. Alright? Or a convention. There's nothing generalized about a meetup. Is about a club. A convention? Yeah, an anime convention. Or fucking Comic-Con. But Dexter, I think you need to understand the place where most people develop lifelong friendships with others is in school. Right? I was friends with I've been friends with most of my friends, who would have guessed, since high school. Alright? And it's thanks to Discord, which is the second area you can find people to become friends with. And it's because of Discord that we've been able to stay friends. Right? Instead of drifting apart like you would like you would expect a lot of high school friends to be. I mean, that's the stereotype, at least. But where I've also where I've also found friends is through Discord servers. Right? Mostly through the voice chat, but you can probably find them in the text chat. Right, I just, you know, I'm online meetups. You know, I prefer talking over texting, right? There's a reason I'm the streamer and you're the chatter. I never talk to my peers like that. Just online meetups. I mean, not really. It's hard to explain, right? But here's the thing, right? If you don't go outside and you want to make friends, then the only places you can make friends is through social media. Right? And anime conventions are in major cities. Are you not close to a major city? Are you saying that there's never been an anime convention in Pennsylvania? Because, like, here's the thing. Where I am, there's been a convention. Philadelphia is 2+ hours away. Okay, you got a point there. But, you know, that's like fourth option. Right? Option number one, you know, that's already gone and over with, right? That's option number one was school. Option number two is Discord. Right? That's still on the table. Option number three is the outside, which, you know, you're kind of doing with fucking the club, the coffee club. And option number four is, you know, areas in real life that where you will find a large group of people who have the same interests as you. Right? Conventions, I say number four, but, you know, if I was more general about it, that's what I would say. All right, conventions, I'm specifically thinking of your interest in anime and stuff like that, right? But you chose option number 3 of going to a small gathering of people to talk about your autism. Oh, well, I guess that's option number 5. Alright, option number 3 is like a library, the mall, right? Fucking a coffee shop. We didn't talk much about autism. Well, I would hope not. Considering I don't think it's normal to... It wasn't scripted. Well, I would hope not to that as well. I would hope that you aren't talking about only autism. But understand that when the requirement or when the target audience for that club is that you have autism, right? I said my fears are people in conflict. What makes me relaxed is being alone. For the introductory question, yeah, I kind of didn't see it that way. Yeah. But that's the thing. Why do you need to specify that you have to be autistic to join the club? Or no, that's not the right question. Because I already brought up how clubs centered around certain hobbies already gather a large group of autistic people. Or, well, you know, a majority of autistic people. My childhood was centered around special ed class and kids' peace. Yeah, I know about that second one. And I could gather the first one. And I doubt you wanted to be friends with those kids. Especially ones that didn't come out as well as you. I never really understood how they acted in certain ways. I fidgeted with my hands a little, but not with objects. Okay, well, I don't think you understand. I don't think you realize fidgeting with your hands has nothing to do with autism. Because if it did, then that would imply everyone is autistic. Right? Because think about it in this way. Well, you are a dog person, but think about it in this way. Cats, when they're idle, right? Their tail... I don't like trains. Okay. That's not what I'm getting at. But cats, when they're, you know, they're sitting around, they're doing nothing, they're still moving, right? Their tail is still moving around because... How do I say it? That is their way of expelling excess energy. I'm a cat? No. But I'm getting to it. Humans do the same thing, right? Whether it's, you know, moving your leg or fidgeting with objects or something, you know, something like that. We also expel excess energy. Some people are like dogs. Well, yeah, they're called extroverts. So, you know what? Yeah, you're closer to a cat. But that's what I'm getting at. If you're saying... What did you say? I never really understood how the... Which is probably why my mom said the term trained. I never really understood how they acted in certain ways. I fidgeted with my hands a little, but not with objects. Okay, I don't think I understand where you're getting at. Are you saying that that there were kids who were quote unquote trained to stop fidgeting with objects in their hands? Or what are you trying to say with that? I'm not sure. What do you mean you're not sure? You just talked about it. You just... People with conditions seem to... I mean, okay, I understand if it's extreme... But, you know, if, okay, here's what I'm trying to get at. It is not a good idea. Okay, I understand I'm not a doctor, right? I'm just, you know, I'm just spitballing here, anecdotally and all that. But I don't think it's a good idea to train a kid to stop fidgeting with objects in their hands without providing a substitute, an alternative way for them to expel the obvious excess energy. You get where I'm getting at? This is completely different from NEAT. NEAT is how... I forgot what the acronym was, but it is... When my mom said trained, I think she meant like a lot of professional help, right? Well, there are different acronyms for NEAT. Most people think of NEAT as not in education, employment, or training, right? But the NEAT I'm referring to is non-exercise something. I forgot what the whole acronym was, but essentially that refers to actions that you do that would not fall under exercise, that expels calories, right? That burn calories, right? Like moving your leg up and down, or fidgeting with objects in your hands and stuff like that, right? You know, where I'm getting at is they're kind of the same, but I refer to them as different things, right? And it's the reason why I say people who fidget with objects in their hands or move their leg don't have autism. They're just expelling excess energy. Because when... I was going to say you, but when someone does a lot of cardio, they don't do a lot of NEAT, right? The movements that they do unconsciously, right, of like moving their leg or fidgeting with objects in their hands, stops. Not entirely, but it happens less because you have expelled that energy, right? I also have ADD, not ADHD. Well, you know, we're talking about different things right now. What I'm getting at is, if kids who fidgeted a lot were taught not to, that is not a good way to train them, quote unquote train them, right? Because of exactly what I just brought up, right? Of how the fidgeting and stuff like that is just a way to expel energy. It wasn't like I was taught not to. How were you taught? You know, you bring up the fidgeting part, you bring up how you fidget with your hands but not with objects. So how are you trained in that aspect? I tend to just rub my hands slowly, if anything, that's it. Okay. But how were you trained to, quote-unquote, stop doing that? Because I already brought up why, in my opinion, it would be a bad idea to, quote-unquote, train a kid to stop fidgeting without providing an alternative. It wasn't trained, it just stopped. Uh-huh. And are you sure it just stopped? I also felt more cleared out after residential, right? But understand this, did it really stop? Or did you start doing it subconsciously when no one is looking? Right? Because that's the thing. How... I mean, this is all speculative, right? And I don't know I don't know your body. But, you know, right now when alone I don't move much. Yeah, but is that a good thing? But once again, like I said, how do you know? How do you know you don't move much if you do it subconsciously? Because, like, think about it in the sense of when you blink, or when you breathe, or... Well, okay. Maybe not in that sense. Because, like, even in those cases, you are aware that you are breathing, or when you're blinking, right? And your body just does it subconsciously. Your body just does, yeah, subconsciously. All right, same thing with fidgeting. But yeah, like I said, cats don't move around that much, right? Cats when they're not active, right? They're just lying around. They're still moving, right? Their tail is still moving around to expel excess energy. Same thing as humans. If anything, I feel more natural and less tense, and in public I tend to rub my hands with more tension if I feel that tense. But I also don't like attention. Uh-huh. So basically what you're saying is that it's a nervous tick. And it's not just and it's not your body's way of expelling excess energy. I probably just feel out that tension without needing to move much. Right, so we're talking about different things here. The reason you move your hands, the reason you fidget with your hands is because you're nervous, right? Not because of a bodily response to releasing of your body's way of releasing energy. I mean, it is a way, but it's not neat. If anything, I use my energy by thinking. Okay, well, I guarantee you don't think that much to use up all of that excess energy. Hang on, I need to... What is the acronym? Non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Jesus Christ, no wonder I didn't fucking remember the acronym. But I observe a lot more when overstimulated and stay quiet when I feel overstimulated. Okay, now I get it. But here's the thing, right? How do they know? Well, no, I was gonna say, how do they know the difference between fidgeting to expel energy and fidgeting because you're nervous? But I guess they were trained to spot the difference. Alright, whatever. Let's get back into it. Stop talking about your autism. Stop talking about your fucking training or whatever. Yeah, that's a surprise. How come?
私の国というより、あっちにはない表現だから特別感を覚えてしまうし、すっごく素敵な言葉ねって胸がすごく高鳴るもの。
She gently places her hand on her voluptuous chest as she ruminates on the word. You think it's wonderful?
だって私たちが二人きりで過ごすすべての時間がデートという特別なものになるわけでしょ?
Yeah, you could put it that way, except for the fact that the difference between... Well, here's the thing, right? Date isn't necessarily meant to denote importance, right? When you say you're out on a date with your girlfriend, that doesn't mean that moment in time is the most special. It is special because you're alone with them, right? Being alone with your girlfriend in your house doesn't mean you're on a date with them, but that moment would be as special. Or am I not understanding this right? The word date is used to denote that the time we spend alone together is special. Is it not? Yeah, okay, no, I'm just wording it weirdly. What I'm trying to get at is the way Kaguya talks about it implies that any time they spend alone together means it's a date. Right? But the difference between a date and any other special time when they're alone together, I guess, is because a date is more public, right? I know I'd be happy to have. I'd be happy to just be. I know I'd be happy just being with Kaguya. It wouldn't matter where we were or what we were doing.
ただこうして一緒に歩いているだけでも確かにもう特別よね。
Well, yeah, that's why you're on a date.
好きな人と同じ速度で歩いている。 同じところへ向かっている。お互い胸を高鳴らせながらそのすべてを表してくれるなんて本当に素敵な言葉だわ。デートって。あなたとそんなに素敵な初デートをしているのね。私今。
She happily reflects on the word again. Seeing her like this, I have the uncontrollable urge to make her even happier. We're only just getting started. Come on, this way, Kaguya.
ええ、連れてって。
Given that this is our first date, I decide we should do something we haven't done before. After giving it some thought, I come up with the idea of going on a whistle-stop tour of all the national pastimes Kaguya hasn't yet experienced.
私、こっちの歌はわからないわ。
Then just sing one of your favorite songs from back home.
わかったわ。思いっきり大声を出していいのよね。子供みたいに。
I don't like how you said the line, we can be as loud as we want with that expression. Alright? That implies a completely different thing. We went to karaoke, where we sung our favorite songs to each other.
ゲームができるお店もあるのね。結局私、ゲームをまだやっていないの。これが初めて。
The ones here are pretty different from the games you get on consoles or phones. See how they've got all those large machines?
やってみたいわ。やりましょう。やり方を教えて、リク。
This is why it's dangerous for me to have her volume up so high. Because now she's significantly louder than me when she's talking. Then we have some fun at the arcade playing games together. We do tons of other things as well until we've basically exhausted everything on the shopping everything the shopping district has to offer.
すごいわ。素敵ね。どれも新鮮で興味深いものばかり。
But then it's like, okay, she's even louder than me in these scenes, but I'm kind of forced to have her be this loud because there are other scenes where she's so quiet you literally can't hear her. And even then, she's still, you know, even with her being this loud in these scenes, she's still too quiet in those other scenes. Kagi's interest is captured in every little thing. She seems to be having fun and genuinely delighted the whole time. I don't think there's a girl out there who I'd rather be showing around. Once I'd thought that there wasn't anywhere I could take her that she'd resound with. Wait, what?
バックログ画面だ。
Once I'd thought there wasn't anywhere I could take her that she'd resound with. I didn't say it right. But I haven't sensed anything like that today. Which naturally has left me on cloud 9 the whole time, and that's why we're showing the background of the clouds. Because that's where he is, metaphorically speaking. Having said that, all this fun is leaving us exhausted. So we take the opportunity to have a break on the bench, on a bench in the park. All right, I'm back. Which do you want?
ありがとう。じゃあ、紅茶をいただくわね。
I'd Kaguya save our seats while I went to buy us drinks. We could have gone to a cafe, especially since she must be used to drinking the good stuff when it comes to tea. But knowing that she's never experienced anything like this, I decided we'd grab some drink from a vending machine and have them in the park.
こんな風にお茶を飲んだのは初めてだわ。気持ちいいものなのね。
Oh, glad to hear it. That's what I'm aiming for. I know I'm more of an indoors person, but there's something nice about having a drink in the park, you know? These birds won't shut the fuck up. I doubt you can hear it in the mic, but Jesus Christ, they're so loud. What's up? She's smiling, but looking down to the ground. I cock my head, also smiling. At which point, she once again raises her hand to her voluptuous chest.
改めて噛み締めてしまったの。
About dates, you mean?
ええ。王瀬がどういうものかは知識としてあったけど、実際に体験してみると想像していた以上に楽しくて、何より嬉しいのねって。
She smiles as she takes it all in. It's a sweet moment that tugs at my heartstrings.
自分が楽しい、嬉しいと思ってるとき、あなたも同じように感じているのがわかるの。同じ時間に同じ場所で同じことを感じられる。特別な相手と一緒にいる実感がたまらなく嬉しいの。きっとそれが王瀬やデートの本質なんじゃないかしらとすら思うくらい。
See, it doesn't have the same. The feeling doesn't. It doesn't feel the same if you call it a tryst instead of a date. Kaguya.
教えてくれてありがとう。ああ、本当に恋って。
Oh, the birds finally shut the fuck up.
デートって素敵ね。
I should be thanking you. A smile bursts into full bloom on her face, and now it's my turn to reflect.
あら、どうして？
Because you're the hottest girl in this visual novel. For teaching me what the true meaning of a date is. Oh, sure, that too.
ならつまりお互いが初めて教えてくれた相手ということ？
Yeah, it's nice to know that's going to keep happening.
そうね。本当にそう。
Things are starting to feel a little awkward, so we spend the next while in silence, sipping on our drinks. Even without any conversation, I find myself blushing from happiness, which reaffirms just how amazing a date is. Kagi's been right the whole time. Dates and love in general are a wonderful thing.
初めてということなら。
Uh-huh. Kagi is the one who breaks the silence. I put down my drink and turn to look at her. What's up?
私、あなたが飲んでいるの、今まで一度も飲んだことがないの。
Okay, I can see where this is going. Riku, you're already dating her. Don't bring up indirect kisses. Her glistening eyes turn towards my bottle of cola. Noah's been drinking this stuff ever since she arrived here, so I just kind of happened to pick it for myself today. I guess Kaguya wouldn't have had the chance to drink it yet. She never gets a full meal out and in for some reason. Want me to go buy you one?
そこまではいいわ。少し分けてもらえれば。
Oh. She picks up the bottle I've just been drinking from before. I had a chance to stop her.
初めていただきます。
You don't need to eat the dakimasu fucking bottle of Coke, alright? She excitedly takes a sip. What? Only to make the funniest face and emit the most hilarious sound. This isn't like her. What's more, she's also straightened out and started trembling. Listen, Riku, I don't know what you expected. This is the first time Kaguya's ever had a fucking fizzy drink.
びっくりした。通り過ぎればこのシュワシュワ感も楽しいわね。
Wait, have you never had a soda, a carbonated drink before, Kaguya? Where would she have been able to get one if she's never had fucking Coke before?
ああ、これが炭酸なのね。スネウ国でも一部で取れるらしいけど、 だことはなかったわ。
So there are carbonated beverages in Snoway. Yeah, I don't remember how I pronounced it before. That explains her reactions then.
ありがとう、リク。また初体験させてくれて。
Oh, sure. I start getting embarrassed when she returns the bottle to me. My eyes being drawn to the top of it.
顔が赤いけど、どうしたの？かわいいの？
Riku, I said not to think about it. Oh, I think this is probably another concept you don't have in your world. We call what you just did an indirect kiss in this country. Don't teach her shit that she doesn't need to learn. She doesn't need to know. Well, you know how I drink from the bottle, and you just put your lips on it? Yeah, right. I'm just overthinking things. Don't worry about it. Now I feel even more embarrassed. So I quickly try to play it off. Only for Kaguya's eyes to open wide as her cheeks take a rosy tint. Fucking Christ, man. It's one thing to do this when you're not dating each other, but it's completely different when you're, one, already dating, two, have done far more things that go that are even more, how would I say, they have done things that couples would do way after kissing. I don't think that's the right way to put it.
関節キス。納得がいくわ。確かに、あなたが口をつけたものに私も口をつけたら、間接的に口づけしたことになる。こういった男女の機微の表現。いえ、観点もこっちには多いのね。
She goes through a whirlwind of emotions, from embarrassment to inquisitiveness, and then finally admiration. Only to then go wide-eyed once more. She gives me a sidelong glance and begins to squirm.
その、あなたも改めて口をつけてくれないと、間接キスがきちんと成立しないと思うわ。
Well, no, you indirect kissed. Not him.
キスは、交わし合うものなんだし。
Good point. Okay, I get it. Now it's my first time. Now's my first time, I guess. Kaguya stares at me through upturned eyes as I nervously press my lips to the very bottle she was just drinking from. The cola tickles my throat as it slides down, making me want to make weird noises of my own. Strangely enough, it tastes slightly sweeter than it did a moment before. Bro, shut up. Kaguya stares nervously at me at the entire time. When I finish drinking, I smile bashfully at her. Her cheeks go redder, and she raises her hand back to her chest.
さっきのあなたも、きっとこういう気持ちだったのね。
She whispers, taking in the feeling. For some reason, my lips have started getting hot. We've ended up staring into each other's eyes. I can hear the pounding of her heart in my ears. Kaguya is likely doing the same. I mean, okay, it kind of works. Because Kaguya is, right, that's what the conjunction, whatever the apostrophe thing is. The Kaguya is referring to Kaguya, but Kaguya's is referring to her heart. Right? It's just weird. It's just weird to say it. Right? We have to be thinking the same thing. What if we kiss directly instead? Yeah, maybe then you'd stop fucking thinking about indirect kisses and fucking shit like that. We should probably get going.
そうね。
We both launch ourselves to our feet, unable to take the awkwardness of or racing of our hearts any longer. But at the same time, we're both reflecting on what just happened. This must be what it's like to build up a relationship from the start. And now that we're both thinking about it, it's inevitable that we'll end up getting there. Except for the fact that the only time indirect kisses are thought about is before you are dating the girl, right? And I'm talking about specifically with visual novels, right? And also anime, but same, yeah, whatever. I'm convinced of that. And I'm sure Kaguya is thinking the same thing. Said conviction is making my chest feel unbearably tight. We continue going around and having fun together. Eventually the sun sets and it's approaching the time Kaguya told Orie she'd be home by. I sure hope another assassin doesn't come to try kill Kaguya. Naturally, I offer to see her back home.
今日は本当にありがとう、リク。
Thank you too. We exchange a brief show of gratitude. Only for me to realize we've both stopped walking. It must be because once we get to the high-rise, our date is over. Is that why Kaguya stopped too? My thoughts are making me feel awkward, so I glance over to her. We lock eyes, only to hurriedly look away again. She's definitely thinking the same thing I am. Which means that, well, you know. You're gonna kiss? We find ourselves looking into each other once more. Our eyes naturally drawn towards the others. Hers seem to cloud over as I stare into them. It feels as though they're drawing me right in. Right in the nick of time, I have a realization. My eyes dart around to make sure there's no one nearby. My actions seem to give her further conviction.
同じ気持ちよね。
This is exactly what I was fucking talking about. And how you have scenes where she is very loud, right? Much louder than when my normal speech volume. But then you get scenes like this, where she's so quiet that I have the urge to, where I feel obligated to increase her volume even higher than I normally do. And what I mean by that is how in my editing software, I boost the audio up by 10 decibels, right around there. But during these moments, I feel the obligation to bump it up even higher, right? It happened during the first special training where I kind of was forced to do it because she was even quieter during those scenes than she was now. She whispers, misty-eyed,
最後に大事なものをまた一つ積み重ねたい。
And it doesn't help that during the first special training scene, she was Her default volume was already quieter than this. Than what her volume is now. My cheeks are on fire. I'm almost trembling in excitement. But I hold back and gather my resolve. Yeah, I do too. I gently place my arms around her dainty shoulders. She lets out a small gasp, but puts up no resistance. Soon enough, she's nestled snugly in my arms. She looks up at me, only to quickly shut her eyes. Once again, I feel like I'm being drawn in, but this time I go for it. I go with it. Let's hope Aurier isn't watching from the penthouse. From the top. I press my mouth up against her sweet, elegant lips. Our kiss is modest. No more than a simple touch of the lips. Yet in doing so, I get a full feel of the warmth, softness, and springiness hers contain. I'm sure that she likewise got a feel for mine. This time we exchanged it directly. Our first kiss. They are trying to excuse the juvenile indirect kiss scene, all right, by having it segue into a real kiss. We part, and Kaguya lets out a heated sigh, her smile tinged by just the right amount of intoxication.
今日一日があったから、こんなにも初めての口づけが嬉しいのね。
Yeah, I agree that's part of it. But I think that everything that's happened since we met, and even before then, has been leading up to this, don't you? We were born in different worlds, under completely different circumstances. Through a twist of fate, and also the writers of the visual novel, we fell in love, and were guided to this moment where we shared our first kiss.
まるで奇跡のようね。
Only our lips actually touched.
また一つ分かったわ。だから恋人同士は口づけを交わすのね。
Well, usually a lot of the times it would lead to sex, but unfortunately Riku can't get hard. Unless he turns into Diablo again, even though we've already seen that he doesn't need to transmigrate or didn't need that special training to get hard, but you don't know that yet.
奇跡でも夢でもないと、付き合っているのは確かだと伝えたくて、感じたくて。
Yeah, I'm sure you're right. I mean, that's how it is for us.
そうね。
Before I know it, our lips are locked together once more. Neither of us initiated it. We were drawn together naturally. We repeated the motions again and again, as if building them up one by one, just like we did with our relationship. And we continued taking new steps forward until Kaguya ends up staying out slightly later than she meant to. I sure hope they didn't get caught by Aurier.
あのさ、お兄。順調です。って顔に出すぎててうざい。
Well, you know, the date just went a lot better than intended. But yeah, either way, I think that's a good place to end off stream. Didn't they fuck already? No. Dexter, you're doing an Aurier. He literally can't get hard. So why do you think, how do you gather that they fucked? They did foreplay. That's the furthest they went. And that was the joke I've been making throughout the entire stream. That Riku is talking about how, so it was just intercrural, yeah. I've been making the joke the entire stream about how Riku's talking about how he wants to go step by step from the start, but they already started with foreplay. Right? And forget the special training. I'm also talking about the first training where he had his face buried in her tits. Right? That goes much further than fucking holding hands. Also, couldn't you technically force a small penis inside? You can force a flaccid one inside, but Dexter, that's a normal person. Riku would fucking transmigrate if he was given too much pleasure, and that was proven when he was given too much pleasure and transmigrated. And that's when that... So? What do you mean, so? I don't think... Okay, just because Kaguya talked about how turned on she was when she saw Riku's erection after he transmigrated doesn't mean she would actually want to get raped by him. Especially when Noah and Amane burst into the room. But, yeah. With that being said, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did a follow, it'd be appreciated. If you want to support me further, go to subscribe. But, there's another example of me speaking quickly. But, yeah, next stream, I'll be playing more Angelic Chaos, who would have guessed. But, thanks for the hydrate. Until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. And I'll see you guys again next time.